Hello, and welcome to Legacy of Fools, an actual play Dungeons & Dragons stream where one adventurer's choices can affect the lives of many adventurers to come. Broadcasting to you live from an isolated room floating somewhere in the astral plane. I, of course, as always, am your DM, Tim. And the players. Surprise, everybody! The layout's different.
We're in a different place.
Also,
different place.
we're not playing Dungeons & Dragons tonight.
Or ever again.
If you've never tuned in before, I'm surprised this is where you're starting. But I appreciate that you're here. Welcome.
Yeah, great energy.
We finished our first campaign last week.
Woo-woo.
This is going to be a little informal chit-chat, talk back. We're going to dissect the campaign a little, answer some questions. If people want to drop questions in the chat or get questions to us by some other means, I don't know.
We do accept smoke signals.
Everyone introduce yourself.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Oh, yeah, we should.
Hypothetically, you know who
there
we
is someone
are.
in chat who's their first night. Amazing.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Oh, it's a great target.
Before we introduce you, let me tell that one person
Yeah.
about what we're doing here.
Fair.
So, you've figured out the D&D part already. But there's more! What the intention here is we are playing through all of the officially published 5th edition adventures in publication order and trying to bridge them with ongoing continuity like one might do in a legacy game. Your Risk legacies, your Betrayal legacies, your something else legacy. I don't know what other games have been. Pandemic legacy, whatever's been released in a legacy. 13 Dead End Drive legacy?
I hope so.
I hope that exists. That game took way too long to set up.
You're getting off track.
I don't know if anyone else had that board game when they were a kid.
I love that
Moving
game.
on.
Anyway.
We finished Lost Mine of Phandelver last week. In 2 weeks from tonight, we are beginning Tyranny of Dragons, but we thought we'd take a little night in this interim to just, like, go through stuff, hash it out. So, yes, the 4 players who are here, please go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Should I go first?
Yeah,
I don't
your
know.
table go
Yes.
first.
I figured. Okay, yeah, hi. I'm Jamie. And I played Jade and Felicia's Crossguard.
Hi, I'm Eric, and I played V, also known as Darvin.
Ooh.
Full name.
I am
Charles Darvin?
Charles Darvin.
Stop interrupting my introduction, Jamie.
It wasn't even good. Go
I
ahead.
don't even
sorry.
know where that came from.
That's a
Anyway,
new character? Oh my god.
I'm the mean one now. No,
Yes!
no. I'm Amanda, and I played Ollie.
I am Genevieve, and I played Bronwyn and Asira.
Oh
You
yeah,
forgot the
I
other
forgot about my first character that died. I also played Rothgar.
Did we want to like mention our characters' former classes as well?
We can get into that in a second.
Okay, cool.
There also is one additional player who's
Yeah.
not here tonight. Amy is not here, couldn't be with us this evening. It's not like something bad happened or you need to worry about
She
her.
had to make money. She got
Yeah.
a job that paid her more than us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She has
More than
like
nothing.
legit stuff, legit reasonable stuff going on. She's fine.
We love her.
It's good stuff. But
Who are
she
you,
couldn't be
Tim?
here this evening. What?
Who are you?
I'm Tim.
I just needed you to say your name so I could put
Oh,
your
you just
handles in the
I
chat.
did at the very beginning.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't listening back then.
Before I kicked it to you guys.
All the way back
This
then,
is
I wasn't
what
listening.
happens. We're lost. Cool.
Oh gosh, this music is too intense.
I know, right? It's so intense.
It's
for what
wacky
this
as
is.
hell.
Let's bring it down.
Let's have a chill time.
Alright, so
That tavern
where do we
music.
all want to start here? Oh, one other thing about the absence of Amy here, just to let you guys know. When it came up that Amy wasn't going to be here tonight, I reached out to her separately and had her go ahead and send me some answers. People are going to be asking questions, and Amy sent me some answers. Obviously, we couldn't know exactly what questions were going to get asked.
Okay.
So they were just miscellaneous answers. She, specifically at my request, has not told me what questions they are to.
Good.
So I don't know exactly how we're going to present these. We can figure it out as we go. As I see it, there are 3 main options, though if someone else has another idea, I'm open to it. One is that we sprinkle them in here and there with no further context. Number 2 is that I read them off every now and then, and we decide what question we think goes to it. Or number 3 is periodically we ask a question not knowing what the Amy answer will be, and we hope they line up.
I like either 2 or 3. I either like the Jeopardy version, or we ask a question and get a random answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go in the answer she said, in the order she gave.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I love that. I
definitely.
love that.
Yeah.
Does anyone have another opinion on either Jeopardy?
No, I think
or-
that's great. Like,
Yeah.
just at the end of every question, we
Then
just
we'll-
go,
okay, and Amy? Okay, great. I
And
like
read
that.
the
I
first
like
So
one.
let's
that.
decide when it's time for an Amy question.
Sounds good.
So we have a list of questions.
We do.
Some of
Yeah.
which were contributed by our wonderful Patreon supporters.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Um,
We have a Patreon, which you can see on the screen. Oh, it's above me this time.
Oh.
yeah, I get to point. I get to point.
So I assume this is gonna be these questions that came from either us or the Patreon people are gonna be the overall structure. If people in the chat currently want to
Have
drop
questions.
questions
Oh, yeah.
in there, aside
Drop
of
in a
those,
question.
please do. We want that.
If we
Shut
got-
up, Jamie.
I wasn't even listening to Jamie, and I don't want to.
Oh.
Somebody else kick us off because I pointedly
okay.
and
Oh, yeah.
intentionally did not contribute questions.
We are so
cool.
used to
Do
tuning you out, Jamie.
I know.
Do we want to start with the more specific ones, or some more generally questionese?
Oh, let's go general first if we
Yeah.
have.
Cool.
I trust you.
I don't know if you should. All right. So, you know our character names. If you watched our campaign, you know something about our characters. But
Oh, before you get into this
God
first
damn
question,
it.
actually. All right.
Let me kick us off.
For the person in the chat who's never watched us, let's just say what the characters were, aside from names.
that was sort of my hope with
Sorry,
this question.
I'm so sorry. Please continue.
So
I thought I was helping.
I'm kidding. So I always have a question because it's interesting to me how people come up with their character's name. So why don't we say how you came up with your character's name, and just a little bit about your character, like their class, etc. For those who don't know this stream, thank you for watching us. Sound like a good place to start?
Yeah,
Sure.
Great. Who
Let's
wants?
not start with me every question.
I'll start.
Jen, go. Jen,
I have
go.
2 characters to get through.
Yes, you do.
So name and how you came up with the character, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my first character was Bronwyn. Bronwyn Achaidh, who, which I don't know if you guys caught, but her family called her Bobby and
Yeah.
she hated it.
I did. I
Caught
did
the
pick up-
Bobby.
Every time I
Yeah.
dropped a small detail, Amanda would be like, huh. And I was like, yeah, you got it! There were a couple that, like, I'll talk about later,
Yeah.
too, that were, like, good. But, she was Bronwyn Achaidh. I have this thing when I name my characters, which is usually, I didn't do it with Desira so much, because I kind of named Desira when I was making Bronwyn's backstory. For those playing at home, my character died, and so I just came back as her sister. A classic move.
As you do.
If you don't want to do more backstory work.
It's also worth noting for our new friend, you're gonna see a not super diverse collection of races, classes, subclasses, because another part of the whole thing here that I didn't say is I'm limiting the players to all 2 character options that were available at time of publication. So this was only the stuff in the starter box set.
So Jen, what was your character?
Amy just put in the chat, Skype me and I'm done here. Which, Amy, just come.
Yeah.
Just come to the
Just
astral
roll
plane.
on in.
You have the address for the astral plane. Come here.
Would we need to set up another microphone? No, we can scooch right. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can scoot.
We'll do it. It'll be fine.
He'll be
We've got Amy's answers. We'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Anyway, wait.
If she wants to jump in Discord voice chat, I have it open on
well,
my
she said to
laptop.
Skype her in, which, like, I could.
I'm not gonna set up
I
Skype.
don't know that my computer will be happy, but I could. Anyway, so
Computer
my
says
name, my
kill
name, my
me.
name.
So yeah, how did you come up with your character names?
Yes. So I like to do, this is a dumb thing, I like to give embarrassing names to my characters.
Yeah.
I had, in another game that I played, I don't know if the other players know this, I'll say it here anyway, don't tell them. One of my characters,
Lore drop.
she was a paladin, but I made her a midwife. Like, she was like a battlefield midwife. And so she was really embarrassed and never told anyone her last name because she was an orc. And so she had a very orcish last name, and her name was Skull Crusher. Her name was Rhea Ragara Skull Crusher, but she would always just go by Rhea because she was like, you're a player in this campaign.
Bad for branding.
Yeah, bad for branding as a midwife to be a Skull Crusher.
Yeah.
But for my my character for Bronwyn, I picked those names because Amakia, it's even, I think, one of the listed, like, elven names that you can pick in the, one of the example ones, but it means, like, gem flower, and so I picked her full name, means in Elvish, delicate gem flower, which I thought would be so embarrassing for somebody who's, like, a rogue and a thief, and, like, kind of, and, like, she was kind of tomboyish, and, like, all of these kind of things.
Someone
so
who's very pointedly trying to give off, like, a
Yeah, yeah.
hard vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
A hard person.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I always
that's
thought she would be
cute.
really embarrassed by having that name.
Okay.
And yeah, she was a rogue, an elf rogue. And then her sister Desira, I had picked Desira's name just when making Bronwyn's backstory. Yeah, Bronwyn had a bunch of brothers and sisters. She had actually 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and they're all twins.
Name
so
them
she
all.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
So she, Desira, Desania, and the boys.
Were the boys unnamed?
No, they
Double
were
boys.
named.
I was just saying, I would swear you sent me names.
Yeah.
You don't
I
have to
don't
name them all.
remember them off the top
I
of my head.
definitely
Or have to
I
open
like
it
and
for
the
me.
boys.
Elishan and
Yeah.
Edgar. So obviously they were named.
Hell yeah.
But
Love
yeah,
it.
there were parents that did the same, the D and the D and the E and the E, and then she was
Ah.
just a B on her own.
Aw.
But yeah, that was Bronwyn, and she had an
Let's do
embarrassing
the
name.
D
Yeah.
and the D.
I like that. That's fun.
Oh, stream stopped. Am I dropping
It
frames?
says it came back.
Okay.
It says it came back.
Okay.
We're good. It's chill.
Don't you
breathe.
dare.
Breathe.
Don't you
It's
drop
fine. It's
frames.
fine.
Hardwired this internet.
Cool.
Okay, go
I
on.
guess me.
Yeah, go.
So Ollie, I came up with the name Ollie just because I wanted him to be named Ollie. The reason he is named, his full name is Olveris Dimitri Linden Gagnon.
Amazing.
And I wanted that because, for those who have seen, who I hope this comes across, Ollie tries to be just like very normal. But his
He's
family,
trying to be low key, but it's not.
but it's not
name.
great.
Yeah.
So that's why he would always go by Ollie instead of Olveris for the most part. And extra character backstory, his family was like very important farmers in his hometown, and every part of his name actually deals with plants and farming.
Huh. Say it again.
Olveris is from like olive tree. Dimitri would be like worshiper of Demeter. Linden is a tree, and Gagnon is from gagner, which is to farm or gather in French.
Cool.
So,
You smarty pants.
so that is why
You guys didn't get that?
for all.
I've been thinking that all along. Yeah.
So yeah, that was how Ollie
Very
got
cool.
became named, and just he very much was like, I don't like all. It sounds too fancy for me. Please stop.
Yeah, you like to pick an embarrassing name too. Sure.
I don't know. Just I don't know about embarrassing. Just like it didn't fit his vibe. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun story, just while we're on names. I think you appreciate this. It's not important to save, enough to save for later. I work at, outside of here, I work at a D&D based after school program. And we're running a day camp this week, and one of the kids at my table at the day camp named their character Ollie.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
As they
Tell
should.
them they're
After
like-
my favorite.
I am
strange
going to be
character.
suing that kid, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
I support this. This kid is perfect, and their character must live.
That's cute.
Already
all
has a fan.
Love it.
Yeah, I had 2 characters as well. My first character was a dwarf cleric named Hrothgar. And
Ollie
that-
was a human wizard. Sorry, I don't think I actually said that.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Oh, just for the sake of this, the subclasses?
Oh.
What kind of rogue, what kind of cleric?
Thief.
Thief rogue.
The only one that was available?
Yes, I know. Thief
But they
rogue's
don't
correct.
know
Do you
that.
remember what domain cleric you were?
Yes. A life cleric.
Yeah, that's correct.
You got it.
Okay.
And
You
a
got
wizard.
it. Evocation wizard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now for an exciting follow-up to that, Eric.
Another life cleric. The first life cleric in the party. And Hrothgar, I definitely remember, I think that name had popped into my head, and I think it was from some kind of media from something or other, but I was just going for a vibe on that one because I wanted to play a very old, a very cranky dwarf, which was very fun for the limited amount of time that I
That
had
was the
with
very
them.
first character I ever played in D&D was an old cranky
Oh,
dwarf.
it's great. It's so much
It's
fun.
a classic.
It's
I've never
just
played
so
an old
fun.
cranky dwarf.
So that
Sure,
was
good
just
time.
yeah, that was totally a vibe. That was one that I like slept on for a couple nights and everything. The second character,
Hrothgar is actually, it was funny because I was listening to the Errigal books And the name of the king of the dwarves.
Oh, is that
Is
it? Okay, so that's where,
We
because
found
I
out
definitely
why.
stole it from something, so I'm happy to scratch that itch.
Now we know.
Yeah, because I think there's like a Mount Hrothgar in Skyrim as well, might be.
Oh yeah.
I think
Something
so.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely I plucked that one
Must
from
just be
something
like a
else
very
and was like,
Germanic name, so people associate it with dwarves.
Yeah. My second character was a human thief rogue named Darvin, and this name story is absolutely crazy. Using my own 2 eyes, I looked at a couple of the names in the book, and I picked one, and I picked Darvin. But then I decided to dress that up and give him a moniker. He was just V for a little bit, and then as he got to know the party and become friends with them, he kind of opened up a little bit, and he went from his moniker V to his nickname Vinny to telling them his real name Darvin. Although I'm not totally convinced that's his birth name. I think he's got. Yeah, I think
There
he's
are
got,
more layers?
I feel
Names
like he's
upon
got a
names
few
upon
that
names
he.
here.
Yeah, I feel like he's got a few names and identities, depending on groups and places he's in.
Amy threw into chat that the only way she knows how to make a fantasy name is combining 2 words, hence bean soup.
It works really well for
Bean
the halfling.
soup.
Yeah.
It's
If
soup.
anyone clocked
And Roz
that,
is just a cute little name, she said.
if anyone has clocked that Jen and Eric just switched character classes,
Yeah.
fun story. Bronwyn and Hrothgar died in the same episode.
Yeah, it was great for my character who survived
You
and was
watched
trying.
them die?
I was like, this is fine for me. This is fine for me.
Also, a character who had notably watched someone
Die
die
already.
before.
Yeah.
A good
Hence,
friend.
backstory.
Didn't compound upon any guilt.
We kept
Don't
really
know.
good party balance this go around, and I got a feeling season 2 we're gonna be a little stilted in a
Oh,
fun
we're
way.
gonna be way out of whack. I feel like we're all like mostly casters.
It's not too many casters. It's a lot of charisma.
A lot of high charisma. We're gonna be very sexy.
We're going to cut down. No more
Yeah.
talking about it.
You'll
in 2
tune
weeks,
in
you'll find out
for
what's
that.
That's very
Yeah.
broad. That's fine to say.
Yeah,
That's a
charisma.
teaser, baby. We're
If
very
you want to see us be
charismatic.
charming.
Sexy as hell.
Jade, now you're going to unveil your.
Yes, but before
Conventions.
I unveil my character, Jaden, that you just unveiled. No, no, I have a question for you because I don't know if it's going to come up. I noticed that there were other people in your in V's Thieves Guild that their names seem to all contain V's. Is that was that on purpose
Oh.
or am I crazy? Also?
Apparently, it was not on purpose.
That was
it was
totally.
Irving,
That was
too.
that was supposed to be totally still a secret. Shh. That's what the space is. Don't
Is that
spoil.
gonna come out
Don't
this-
spoil it. Yeah. We're
okay.
planting the
He
seeds for a
planned
season
it.
We'll cut it,
6.
we'll cut it, we'll
No,
cut it.
Until he's written it.
No, totally coincidental. I didn't even notice that until now. But
fine.
that doesn't mean it
I
can't
mean,
be something
Irving
cool
could also
later.
be shortened to Vinny or
That
V.
is true.
true.
They're all named variations of
Yeah,
the
Vin.
same
I thought it was
name.
interesting if like this Fagin like character who took in all these thieves. He's like, I'm gonna give you a
You're
V
Irvin,
name.
you're
This is
Darvin, you're...
Vin.
Yeah.
This is
Vin.
Vincent.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wonderful.
Canonically shooing a Vin Diesel in there.
You have to. If you don't get a Vin Diesel in there, you're fucking up. So I played human champion fighter Jaden Fallacious Crossguard. And it's the best name ever, as Jen has said many times. It's let's see. So I was telling some of them a little earlier, I do spend a lot of time on my characters' names because I'm very particular about stuff like that. Jaden I decided to go with because I like J names because they can kind of be. I like J names because I knew I wanted to play a noble for like fancy types because I like the French je, and I like thinking that a character with a J name exactly can go with a je or a je, and a je is like a little more inelegant, and there's something about that dichotomy I like. And I went with Jaden because I think it's a name that I've only ever heard a 1-year-old or like a 2-year-old be called. Jaden, come on, let's go. And
There are no Jadens past
You know, I
5.
worked
Yep.
with a Jaden
I didn't know that.
at my restaurant.
really,
yeah.
that's amazing. I
Is
guess
it a
they grow
baby?
up.
Shout out to Jaden. Hope you're watching
I mean,
this
he's
stream.
like 20.
Jaden's making to adulthood.
He's like 23, which is basically a child
Oh,
to me.
very
anyway.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, when I was a kid and taking note of names, he was a baby, for sure. So, Fallacious, I obviously went with because it's incredible. I was trying to think of a great middle name to go with.
We love
there
it.
was a bunch of, like, trial middle names and last names, but Fallacious just came to me, and I was like, that's great. Cross Garden, was once like Bright Castle or something like that, and I just tried, kind of in the same vein as Amy. Honestly, I was like, oh, I really like these like nobles' last names that are like this.
It
and
feels
then
so high fantasy.
Yeah.
101, yeah.
I love.
Also, there's the part of the sword, the crossguard.
Yeah, that's true.
And were you gonna? Yep.
No, I was just agreeing with you. I don't need to explain the anatomy of a sword.
Fair.
Great film.
Yeah, that's fair. And I also just took every vowel that pretty much could be replaced with a Y, and replaced it with a Y because I wanted to make it super edgy fantasy shit.
I like that the two combined names of Cross Garden and Bean Soup are just like emotionally so different.
Bean Garden.
Just because Amy can't talk for herself here, for the record.
She's in the chat, so she can.
Well, she can talk for herself, but not on camera. Amy played a halfling champion fighter named Roz Bean Soup, and as she said in the chat, the inspiration for that name was she mushed 2 words.
I love it.
Which again really works for
We're
halfling.
just
I
showing
want
how
to
the
build off
sausage
yours
gets
for a
made.
second, by the
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
because I want to get this out of my head while it's fresh. Jumping topics, and then we'll work our way back to names. I gave you all, when we got to the Forge of Spells, those custom magic items that you empowered over the Forge, which I figured out really early in it that I was going to do. Largely after a big deal got made really early on about the necklace of desiccated elf fingers
Yeah,
that you had,
it was
which, to be
gross.
clear, was rolled randomly on the trinket table.
Oh yeah, one of the
Oh,
things we had to do when creating characters for this campaign was roll for the trinket table.
I love the random trinket.
It's fun.
It's great.
A big deal got made, and it got thrown off into the woods. And it was just like, he went looking for it. It's like, yeah, you find like one
Nice.
finger, like a raccoon or a squirrel has it.
Yeah,
and in
thrown
my
by my
head, as I
character,
was
'cause-
mulling over that after the fact, I was like, I need to gradually give him all those fingers back, and then they need to be important. And that was when it could be like, he can empower them over the Forge of Spells. Oh my god, everyone will have a thing they can empower with the Forge of Spells. So I designed all these items. But a part of a thing I was trying to do with Jaden a lot, what a sort of thematic thing was his assumptions about things prove to be wrong, and he learns that this very confident way he has been raised to view the world, not everything's always what he thought.
Oh yeah.
So there was this
We were
story that it
trying.
was like someone your ancestor killed, and then when you empowered it, you met the ghost of the elf whose fingers they wore. It was like, no, we were the best of friends, and I gave him that
To
like,
protect him.
to protect him after death. And
Yeah.
I named that.
Sorry,
I named that ancestor.
local dog's going
I
crazy.
built the ancestor's name around Jaden's name. So the first name, I went through several first names before I settled on one, and I'm half convinced. I don't have notes in front of me right now. I'm half convinced I'm about to say the wrong one. But the first name I went with, I believe, Paxton.
Correct.
Yes.
Yay!
Good. Which was just
Bing.
another name
You could do
that
that,
sounds like an obnoxious bougie,
Yes.
like millennial woman named her kid that.
Yeah, that was definitely fine.
And then
That's
to match
true.
fallacious, I went with Coniligus.
Cornelius. I don't have that written down because I remember
Cunnilingus,
hearing it
amazing,
so.
Yeah.
amazing.
That's
Great.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's beautiful.
I need to quit the stream
You're an
right
artist.
now.
You're
Did
an
no
artist.
one notice that at the time?
Nope.
I didn't remember his
down
first
the time.
name.
I'm so sad we missed
Paxton
that.
Coniligus Crossgarden.
So sad
I
we
may have
missed that
noticed it at the
artistry
time.
of yours.
I may have also blocked it out of my brain.
The reason my
What?
character threw it in the woods, by the way, was because
Yeah.
there were elf fingers, and I was like, "That's disgusting. I'm an
Yeah,
elf. I'm very
reasonable.
morally
and
insulted by
and I
this."
do,
For sure.
and that was like one of our characters' like
First bonding
bonding
moments.
moments. So
Yeah.
it's
Before
just
I died,
like,
yeah.
But then it had to be a thing.
Yeah.
No, that's entirely fair, and I think it came around in a great way. But yeah,
Can I touch on 2 more quick things?
yes.
One, Jaden Fallacious Crossgarden. I liked that it was also abbreviated as JFK because I knew I was going to give him an obnoxious noble last
I
name.
never noticed
Oh,
that.
I did
Never
notice that.
noticed
I did
that.
notice JFK.
That's so funny.
Oh my God.
Because I was like, oh, if they get tired of
I
saying,
have a JFK book on my wall. Like, oh my god.
oh yeah, you should have known. You have the book.
Oh my god.
I got these names before the rest of you in
My-
writing.
My brother's name is John Kennedy. I should anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
Silas in the chat does
Yeah.
say, Now I'm convinced this was a confirmed bachelor situation with Jaden's ancestor and Paxton. I agree.
I don't have a specific intentional answer for you there, but I am happy for that to be the answer. Yeah,
Canon.
that's
This is
great.
canon.
They were the best of friends. Historians would tell you.
And they were roommates.
I just am going to read Jaden's siblings' names because these are a bunch of reject names that are almost Jaden, but then I made them their siblings.
Oh, and these are all from the different dads?
Yeah. Christopher, Alistair, Chauncey, Rumpert, Xanthony, and Jobin.
I love that half of those are just not names.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
almost names.
Yes.
Anthony
really-
and Christopher, amazing.
I'm glad you didn't go with Christopher because I would not be able to talk to you the whole campaign.
Yeah, I couldn't respect myself with Christopher
Would
as
we
my
have called
character
him
name.
Triss or Toph?
I would have just
Please.
been just like, hey,
You there.
bud.
You there.
Chauncey's classic.
Amazing. I do like Chauncey though. That's funny.
Chauncey, I
Take
was
it as-
watching Miracle Workers, and that's Daniel Radcliffe's character's name in one of those seasons.
love
It's
is
taking
the
us
second
20
one.
minutes
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
through one
Yeah, we
question,
should keep-
guys.
we should
Yes,
keep
yes, keep it going. A lot of
all
questions to
right.
get through.
We wanted to discuss our characters' various faiths, since we have
Bronwyn, Nun, and clearly Desira, Ungaroth, and her 3 split-off deities.
Yeah, none for V, and he, Hrothgar, the first one was True Silver.
Yeah,
Follower
fair
of
enough,
True
True
Silver,
Silver.
yeah.
What's he got of?
the hearth.
Chee.
The home, yeah.
Yeah, hearth and home.
The home.
I remember that.
I heard we were going to talk about our characters' fates. And I was sitting there like, I don't understand these answers.
I'm gonna be honest, guys.
What do you
I'm
mean V
gonna
had no
love
faith?
Never.
It was a wanderer.
You said Jaden had a specific.
Oh yeah, I was trying to find a faith that fit somebody like Jaden, and I was looking through some of the more obscure gods, and
I
there
don't remember the answer to this.
Xeomorph is her name,
What?
or Xeomorphy?
Xeomorphy.
A very obscure god.
I was like xenomorph.
Honestly,
the
yes.
xenomorph
It's
name.
basically just. the
I pray to
xenomorph
them because I'm
alien.
so scared.
Praise be to the xenomorph. Don't eat me, please, God.
She is like a goddess of nobility and like
They need one.
a hierarchy, I believe. Like specifically like a no, people should know their place kind of god.
Very lawful.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, very lawful.
Hey,
Piece of lore I did not know at all.
Surprise.
What's that name?
I
How
suppose
do
I
you
can say
pronounce
what mine was a god of.
It's like Xeomorph,
So-
S-I-A,
Yeah.
morph, and then an E at the
Love
end.
beauty.
According to good, I looked up a wiki site to see the pronunciation, and it says Siamorph or Seamorph.
Cool.
Great.
Helpful.
So
It's
Angaroth.
good to know that your character's god was Coelacanth. Please come on.
What was Angaroth the goddess of?
I don't remember. I had
Moonlight
it
for
written down
sure.
in one of these.
It was like the moon and beauty.
Well,
and
Sehanine was the moon, and then there was one that had like feathers all over her, and then there was one that had like
Ungaroth is like one of those things that it's like it's
She's a
three gods who are
triumvirate.
one.
Yeah,
yeah, she's a triumvirate. I have it all written down on a sheet somewhere, but not.
Ollie didn't
available.
have a specific faith per se, but came from a small town where Shantia was very important, so grew up with those sorts of practices.
So
So like the version of the kid that grows up Roman Catholic and then is not.
Amazing.
But Shantia. That is the character faiths. Hooray, we got through a question.
Actually, I
Nope,
think we still
never
need to do
mind.
Roz's Bean
Oh.
Suits.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Roz Bean
Oh
Suits?
yes.
Oh,
what
you
is-
want me to pull it up from here?
What is Roz's answer for Roz's faith?
Roz's faith. Okay, here we go. Pulling up Amy's miscellaneous answers.
Answer.
And the first one here is now the answer to what was Roz's faith? Fireball, but like the song plays when it happens.
Honestly, same.
I think
I get it.
that's accurate to Amy.
I get it.
Yeah.
It is. Maybe that's Amy's face.
Yeah, I think so.
Fireball.
Cool.
Oh, also just before we get it off it for the record,
Uh-huh.
the three parts of Ungaroth are
Oh yes.
Sehanine.
Hanali
Hanali.
Selenel, who is a goddess
in my
of love, beauty, and the arts. Sehanine Moonbow, who is a goddess of dreams, death, and travel.
Mm-hmm.
And Airdrie Thania, who is a goddess of... I had it in front of me, and then the page jumped. There we go. The sky.
Oh, wow.
What was Angaroth, like, what's Angaroth's thing, personally?
The Angaroth is... I mean, is like all of them together.
Because I had a reason that I picked her, and I can't remember it anymore.
God of growth, protection, and wisdom.
Yeah. I think I was going life cleric, and then I was also trying to get somebody who was more like elf related because she's in the what's the name of the elf pantheon?
The Sildarine.
The Sildarine. Yeah, she's in the Sildarine, so that's why I picked her.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
cool.
Cool. Let's talk about how we organize our character sheets.
Oh, goodness.
Because
gracious me.
we're gonna go from character backstory to the player.
As I look for every answer
frantically
in all
flip
of my...
through everything. I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
So I print out my character. This one,
Bring it right
unfortunately,
up to camera.
yeah. This is very messy because
In what way?
I
What are you talking about?
there are scratched out things.
Since the character sheet.
How dare you?
I usually print out a new sheet on Level Up.
Same.
But I could not find where my level 5 character sheet for Ollie was today, so we got the level 4 one that I had just adjusted things for. So, if you can see,
Read it and
Yeah.
weep.
that's what it looks like.
Nice.
Yeah, mine is all printed out. I don't like having to look through things online if I don't have to.
I agree.
So I printed out like all the spells I had. I realized for other classes that have to, prepare spells, this is not
Change spells, yeah.
a practical option, but that's how I do it. Yeah, and I just like literally will like copy paste like different like aspects of the character into it so I can just flip through, which does occasionally lead to me on stream losing pages. Like I'm suddenly the very addle-minded professor who loses stuff, but it works for me, and it's what I do.
Mine's basically the same, so I'll go next. I print out every time I level up, and usually like the one in my binder is the one that I'm up to, and then sort of there are other ones that are floating or like in a pocket or like in the
She has
back
a binder
of,
though.
in
It's
the back
nice.
of my binder. That was for my very first D&D game ever.
I love that.
My boyfriend got a binder for all of us. He was a player, and then he just like got a binder for all of us to put our character sheets
love
in.
that.
And then it was just kind of useful because then you can also kind of put, your notes in there and all of that. But I usually like I handwrite in the hit points as they come and like cross off spell slots in pencil and all of that. But then there are a few things that I just like lost track of. By the end, my grasp of how much money we had was very loose. Was very shaky.
Ollie had no money because he was a wizard.
A wizard, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I do kind of the same thing. I do have all of my spells like printed out, sort of in like the little blocks that they come in. But I also use, and this is a hack that I don't know the real Dungeons and Dragons would support. There is an online character sheet that is like a PDF that contains all of the knowledge of the D&D books.
Wow.
So not official, but it means that every time I level up, it does all of the stats for me. It does all the level ups for me. It's like, where do you put your points? And then it just like can generate a spell sheet that has all of the stuff and like kind of a shortened version of each spell as well. So I use that because I'm lazy
fun.
and don't know how any of it works and don't want to have to do the work.
I like doing the level up myself because I feel like then I actually look at
Yeah,
what
what's
I'm
happening.
supposed to be doing.
What you're getting. Yeah, that's fair.
I could not be more different from you two because
God, you're insane.
I do about 2 pages worth. The first one being like the basic character skills, stats, all of that. But I keep that one all the way through. So I am pencil marking, erasing, and this sheet is looking like hell now. And then I typically do a second page for like equipment, and then like in that square note space, that's kind of like where I'll put like the other specialized
got a
skills and stuff. Just keep
subscriber.
it.
Thank you.
Oh, right on! Hey.
What's up?
Wow.
Nice.
But I am changing some of that up going into the second season. Got some PDF fillables that I will be updating and printing out
He's
as
upgrading.
per level up as well. So yeah, and honestly, I do like it because there is so much, and it is the more organized you can be, the easier it just makes it and streamlines it. So
Yeah, I started actually, so I print mine out as well because I have to. And I've started doing little, like, number letters down at the bottom. You can see 1A, and then 1B, and then 2A and 2B. And because otherwise I'm like the befuddled professor over here. Yeah, I'm like, whoa.
It's me.
Wait, what is 2B?
2B.
Or not
Page
2B.
numbers? I was working my way there, and it's ruined now.
Sorry, whoops.
Way to ruin it.
We got excited.
I was setting something up.
Do you want to do it again? We'll pretend.
Yeah.
It's too late now.
Welcome to the theater nerds corner
The
here.
water is mine is warm, so the soda water is cold. So add some soda water.
Can I grab
Room
a
temperature vino.
So, as Jen is refilling our drinks.
Yeah. Actually, I was
gonna
just
bring my
also,
cup over there.
I was just also going to say real fast. So I normally print on level up too, but we were leveling up so fast at the beginning that I just, and also as a champion fighter, and champion fighters don't really get a ton, especially 1 through 3. It's like a couple things, but I just wrote them in.
I'm gonna stop holding the
But then I
open
just
liquid.
kept going. So this is Jaden's level 1 character sheet, and also his level 5 character sheet.
That is wild.
And the HP, I don't know if you can see that the, hold on, let me see if I can, that HP part there is like almost rubbed through from all the erasing I've had to do.
Don't hand me open beverage containers. We know this isn't safe for me.
It's dangerous.
Oh yeah, I didn't even give you the lid for that wine. We're drinking, if anyone's interested, we're drinking a combination of a $4 Trader Joe's peach wine and soda water.
Because it's real sweet.
Yeah, raise a glass for us at home. Go on, get into it.
If
Raise
you're
that glass.
enjoying a beverage of any sort.
Would you pass the soda water to
Also,
Jamie?
raise a glass
Oh, yeah.
for freedom.
Timothy, would you pass the soda water to Jamie?
No.
Oh, no.
Jamie.
Nope, I'm done.
Jane.
I'm stopping.
I know it's empty, but here's the lid for.
Oh
Okay,
God!
okay.
Why?
Here we
I'm
go.
trying to get to my
Why are you
Here we go.
throwing
I'm
things?
throwing
we go.
sharp metal.
This is
Nailed it.
Not even close.
All right, everyone. Coming back to here. I feel like that's an end of thing question.
Which one?
This number 8.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, number 8, yeah.
Classic number 8.
Does anyone have any like backstory things they want to specifically talk about?
This is gonna be the long question.
Or,
I feel like,
or do we
yeah.
want to go through the specifics?
no,
and
I
then
feel
maybe
like
come,
do
or come back
this
to that?
and then like so we can cover stuff that we want to cover. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Juicy backstory dudes.
Oh yeah.
Who wants to start?
Well, I think that either Jen or Eric should start.
Y'all have
maybe
two
have the most to get
characters.
through.
Yeah.
Eric, go first.
Yeah, Hrothgar had a vision, and that's what set him out on his quest. So we were gonna explore a little bit of that, this looming threat to his home, and he
Ooh.
fighting that.
And how it's just out there.
And what? Yeah,
Now it's just out
I
there,
know.
oh
Exactly. And then for V, backstory wise, I really just kind of went with like street urchin. I did a real, not copy and paste, but I went real archetypical with him. I went really like mid season. I really wanted just something to kind of play out that wasn't too original in that regard. Just to, especially since we didn't know when this was all going to wrap up. So those are my two. So one was way more thought out and had some like strings we were gonna pull on a little bit, and the other one being just way more archetypical.
I mean, I just like basically made a second character that could reveal my first character's stuff. Because,
We're gonna
like,
get
the whole point of my first character was like she seemed like a street urchin, and then later on you find out that she grew up in a rich family and ran away from it. But I never really got to get to the reveal. So Bronwyn, this is what I have wanted to do the whole time, is just like go back into my one sheet that I wrote for Bronwyn and like read out some of the bits that I never got to say. But this is where Amanda pays fucking attention, because we were at a party, actually the party that I died at. And
We only went to one party in the campaign.
Yeah. And I remarked that when Roz was trying to pretend to be a noble, I went, "Oh, just act bored. That's what all nobles do." And Ollie went, "How do you know that? You know that. That's true." And I was like, she got my hint. Never got to reveal.
And then we met
that
Jasira.
was the advice to fit in at the party of my villain character, who was a super rich lady,
Yeah.
who's like like her strongest personality trait was that fucking everything bores her.
Yes. So see, I'm
It
very
made
smart.
sense.
I'm
It
very smart.
made a lot of
Bronwyn
sense.
grew up with wealthy parents, so like a big wealthy merchant family. And she had 4 older siblings, and all of them could do magic. The brothers were identical twins, the sisters were fraternal twins, and they were all like, I forget what I cast them all as, but they're like, a warlock, a wizard, a paladin, and a something else. Like they're
Don't
all.
know if being a warlock is a great thing.
Yeah, but
That's
whatever.
an interesting
I can't
choice.
remember quite what I picked, but I have it in here somewhere. But anyway, the whole point being, Bronwyn grew up not being able to do magic in a family that basically traded in like ingredients for magic. And so she was like looked down on. She was like not very good in school. And her like parents never thought she was, working hard enough or good enough or doing any of that. So
They were so similar, Bron and Jaden. That's so
I know.
fun.
Oh, and that was also
We'll get into Ollie in a second.
Yeah. And like Desira was like one of the children that was loved and could do magic, and like she joined the church, and that was her way of finding magic. But her older sister Desania, fucking psychopath.
Desania?
Which one was Dasani?
I love
So
her water.
Desania is the eldest. Desira and Desania are twins.
Yeah, but
Desania is
was she
like
the-
she's the older one, and she's like the one that is like power hungry and like exactly like their parents want.
Is she a wizard or is she?
I can't remember.
Or is she the warlock? I gotta know.
Right? Yeah, I think she might have been a wizard. But I have it somewhere.
Wizards.
But anyway, wizards, the worst, right? Anyway, so the trinket from the trinket table, I had written down in my backstory, which I never got to reveal again because this was just like Desira kind of picked it off Bron's dead body and then got this magic from the mine of Fendel, the special thingy. So I wrote in, she was like a kleptomaniac growing up, of course, because every thief rogue is. And she like, one day she got kind of picked up by the town guard, and their family was humiliated and like paid off the guard to release her, and that night she ran away, but on her way out she stole from her mother's dresser a metal can with no opening. It sounded like it was filled with sand. That's the description in the fucking trinket table. And she took it partly to remember her mother and partly to spite her. She still doesn't know what's in it and tries not to think about it too much. And so then she moved to the big city. She met up with, and this was in the first episode, she,
Greg?
Yes, Greg. Fantasy Greg.
3 Gs.
4
4
Gs.
Gs?
It was toward the beginning to the end. There were 4 Gs.
Toward the end. Oh my god, they're not what you think.
Jen sent me that backstory, it had the number of G's you would expect, but by the end of that first session his name first got said, it was 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Yeah.
As per usual.
Fantasy Greg.
I can't guarantee 4G Greg doesn't show up sometime.
He better.
So, like, when she
I demand
ran
it.
away and went to the big city, she was kind of just like a street urchin for a while, and then she tried to pick a pocket of a local member of the Thieves Guild named Greg Cassier. And so that was kind of like her mentor.
Greg.
And then the thing that was like gonna be her big thing. Oh, also like Bronwyn had this whole thing where she like ran the shell game in the big city, and I really wanted a bit to get to do like the hustle talk. I was like, we need a distraction. Okay.
You did at one point deal cards.
Yeah. And I wanted to do the big
I don't
like,
remember what.
okay, roll up. This is the game. Everybody rolled around knows the game. The name of the game is the game. Of course, you can pick any card, like do
You're
that
doing
whole
great.
bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was really excited to do that. Never got to do that.
Did you have it like a patter written out, like a whole
I
script?
had one like imagined, but
She practiced.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
maybe. Who's to say? But
Amanda.
so she picked a pocket of the local thief. He became her mentor, and a few years of doing that, and they swindled people and all of this. And then one day he got arrested, and but as he was getting arrested, she kind of ran away. And then he was getting arrested for like this big string of robberies that she had no idea about, that she didn't know he had been doing. And so he had been doing like bigger jobs without her. And so then he gets arrested for that, she runs away, and then of course his people come after her, which is why she was trying to book it and skip town.
Yeah.
Which is like, that was Bron's whole purpose for being in the group, was like, why would a thief join this group exactly? And it was like, oh, she's trying to get out of town by any means possible.
Makes sense.
Anyway, so that was all of her stuff.
That's Braun.
And Desira was just kind of a, like, what would I was like, I gotta out-snob Jaden.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
High bar.
Yeah, that was
Very
my
high
aim.
bar.
And Desira was kind of like had the weight of responsibility on her shoulders of this like big expectant family. She was like the Silver Moon has like a bunch of temples, but the Angrath temple has this special thing where you can be. Oh, this is I think also partly why I chose Angrath was because they have like totem sisters, which is like a kind of druid you can be.
Yeah.
And like if you were chosen, you got to go down this path, and so like the whole thing with Desira, like second sister, you know, not as powerful, not as, you know, interesting. She never got picked as a totem sister when she joined the church, and that was like what her parents wanted for her, so she could be powerful and like influential and political. So she didn't get picked as a totem sister, and then she got a vision from her god that said, you know, you
need to go to
handle it. Oh, that's right. She received a dream saying she'd been chosen, and the goddess chided her, telling her that while she would receive rewards for her continued devotion, she would only receive the ones she needed, not the ones she wanted. The goddess said, "You must live your life lifting others up. A life humbled by the power of the union of the goddess. We must accept that many truths can be true at the same time while seeming to conflict. The goddess is one and she is three. We can be proud and humble. We are one with our family and we are a unique being." So that was kind of meant to be like the arc of Desira as well.
That's
was
cool.
like finding her own identity apart from her family.
Yeah. I think that came across at
And
some point.
then she got the dream that was like, pack your bags, there's something happening in this town, won't tell you what, and she got to go and find her dead sister!
Yay!
So that's a whole bunch of backstory stuff I always wanted to talk about and never did.
Yay!
Before we move on to the next person, during that, someone put an interesting question that was a follow-up to something I said in the chat.
Yes.
Do we want to go through everybody else's backstory stuff and circle back to that, or do we want to cover that
will
now
that
while
be
it's still fresh?
will that be a big tangent?
Or a huge one?
Let's just go.
Okay, so I mentioned during that section a villain character who was bored by everything, and
Lorna.
it was asked in the chat by Turnip005.
I'm just giving that person a face because
That's
I
fair.
know them.
I also know them.
Right. Yeah. You do.
So, his question. I just don't know everyone in the chat, so I was just going to go by names.
That's fair.
By usernames. So, his question was, let's scroll back up so I get, by his phrasing, was there more to that villain in terms of motivation or just boredom? So, I knew very early on I was going to give this story sort of my own climax and an extra fifth act.
Yes.
Because the way the adventure is written, it's written to be the start of a campaign, and then you go off and do your own stuff, and it has kind of an anticlimactic ending as written. And I knew that this was going to be...
You level up and do nothing.
That this was going to be the, like, two evil wizards who are in Lost Mine of Fandelver, as written, have, like, 3 other evil wizard friends they've been working with, and those people were going to be the big bad. The one in question here, Lorna Oakridge, was I think the second one of them I figured out. And she came out of, before we started, I asked every player to give me, because this only goes to level 5, it's a little limited in scope compared to some other things, so rather than like trying to build hugely elaborate character arcs, I was like, everyone give me a personal goal, a simple, accomplishable personal goal that can be a side quest.
Yeah.
And
It could be like
I think
a one
the
episode.
first person to get back to me was Jen, who was like, I want to do a heist.
Yeah,
So I was
that
like,
is Bronwyn's dream.
the person-
She's always wanted to like rob a bank or rob a manor or something heist.
So I was like, the person they rob in this heist is going to have
Bad
to be
news.
one of these 3 evil wizards. And
Never heist
robbing
again.
this person being an individual who they're going to go rob something valuable from her house led me to, this is someone extremely wealthy. And all of these people needed to be like sort of sociopathic kind of people who
Jaden's dad.
their personal power is worth many lives, and like what ultimately, when the rest of their plan is really the end, amounts to setting off a magic dirty bomb in a major city, just to siphon power for themselves. So I started thinking to myself, like, what is it these people want out of this this siphoned magic power? And what I hit with this person who's just extremely rich is she's used her magic to essentially create an elaborate scam to get rich, which largely all what she's been doing is just buying cheap metals for very little and transmuting them to gold and making jewelry out of it. And so she's sort of scamming the supply chain. She is like wildly underpaying people and lying about what she's using stuff for just to like have this huge influx of money. And this person is extremely rich.
Capitalism is bad, kids.
Yes.
Don't do it.
And sort of to the point where she's hit a point in her life where she can afford basically anything, and she buys basically anything she wants. And with being able to do that, kind of everything stopped being interesting. Everything is so attainable that everything seems mundane to her because
she got like weird philosophically.
She's a person with delusions of grandeur who's as grand as she could be. So everything is nothing to her. So she's hit this sort of point where she goes, everything bores me so much. It's just that the world is boring. This world is beneath me. So I need this power so I can go to every other one. And the cosmos will be interesting. And it's very important to note that for Lorna Oakridge specifically, she's wrong. Nothing will ever be interesting to her because she's just broken.
Makes me think of in Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan. Is it?
Yeah,
a little bit like got too big brain, got too like out of focus of like the details, and just like nothing.
In a very different flavor of that.
But just like nothing meant anything anymore.
Having essentially anything she wants has just kind of made everything meaningless to her.
What do you get for the halfling who has everything?
A raisin.
A raisin, probably. She did love
So that was sort of what she was in my brain. And I hope that's a satisfying answer to the question. Moving back into what we were talking about.
Girls had stuff they wanted to reveal.
Ollie, I guess. So, I mean, a lot of Ollie's backstory was revealed in campaign. And I just said, like, he grew up in a small farming town. He grew up in Greenest, where his family for that small town was very prominent. Like, they, in that town, were basically like, they were farmers, but in the sense of like, okay, their farm is big enough that they're also like employing people and like making these sort of bigger choices for the town. And they always sort of I feel like in the same way that Bron and Jaden had like these familial pressures, Ollie's grandfather was very much expecting him to be like, you are going to take over the farm, you're going to take over the family business, and you're going to do this. And that just was very much like Ollie was not good at that sort of thing. So he struck out on his own and was trying to make his way through in his life. In the next couple of years, discovered that you could study magic, that it was something that you weren't just born with. Maybe he's born with it, maybe he spent hours in a library. So discovered that as the first thing that was like, oh, this makes sense to me. Found a mentor, did the wizard in training thing for a bit, and then decided to go off and not necessarily start a wizard tower, but to start experimenting, because he wanted to, what he was looking for was he was looking to create a power source. What he wanted to do was, for the people he grew up with, because he does care about those people, was like, okay, well, how can I make their processes easier and more efficient, and so they don't have to work as hard doing what they're doing. So he was looking for that. Then shit went bad and explosion happened, killing his friend.
What and why? No, I know about the explosion. Sorry, why was supposed to be the only question. I don't know why I said what. But
why?
So what went bad? Like I don't think that mystery was ever.
Magic is unstable.
Gotcha. Okay.
That is the. I don't have the exact specifics of
that's cool,
why. but
You
just
like,
if
wasn't
you
being
are,
careful enough.
yeah, if you weren't, yeah, you're not being careful enough, and like with magic, if you're continually pushing for things, at some point there is going to be a level of magic where you may not be ready for it, or may have read something wrong, because like it's written down, like slight runes can be wrong, right? And that can be something huge. So that was why the accident happened.
You tug on the wrong strand of the weave.
Exactly, and the shit goes wrong.
Cool.
I did that because, and I've told, I think, most people in this room at some point why I did this, because I'm always fascinated by D&D characters because they have to have some level of epicness to them, right? But
if they're gonna leave behind a whole
world, like there's a whole
and
reason.
family and
but when you
friends.
start at level 1, you kind of feel like you can't do anything anyway, even if you have an epic backstory. So my idea with Ollie was he probably was a higher level wizard while he was doing these things. Then the accident happened. He broke his arm. He lost his spell book, and had to relearn everything. And that is sort of my justification of why he has kind of,
fragmented knowledge.
Like he has some knowledge, but he's not as storied as you might think someone who left a town to strike out on their own might be, unless it is, I think, someone like Roz, where it's just like, this is kind of like that first adventure for them.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great hook for Amy's character.
Amy was so good with that.
Yeah. Just being like, she's
I
just
just
like
wanted
a nice person who wanted to try it out.
And it was wonderful.
It was a great foil for like some of the other stories as well.
Angst.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ollie's trinket was a tankard without a bottom.
Huh.
That was what I rolled on the trinket table. And my idea for that was because at one point after leaving home, he was working in Borskire Bridge, like in a tavern. And my idea was like this sort of, down on his luck man came into the tavern, like couldn't really pay for board and drinks, and was just like, I can trade you this. And Ollie was like, yeah, sure. And just like kept the thing and sort of was like, well, maybe I can melt it down for something at some point, or just whatever. But it never really came up, but I just figured I'd throw that in.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jaden.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of Jaden's stuff pretty much got covered.
Oh yeah, because you guys survived.
I'm sorry!
Lived.
This is why Ollie seeing Bronn and Hrothgar die was just like, cool, so that's taking my dead body
Count.
count. It's so many.
Dead friends
So
everywhere.
many dead friends.
Trauma.
Yeah.
The survivor guilt cannot be
Oh yeah, overestimated. Yeah.
in this character.
One thing that came out of Tim asking us various questions at the beginning to help define our characters that I don't think ever came up was just like, party trick. It was like Jaden's party trick was that he can do a 3-leaf clover with his tongue. No, that's not gonna come
with
up.
a what?
He can do a 3-leaf. I cannot.
Oh, with his
no.
tongue.
can.
Okay.
Can you?
Amazing. Congrats, Jen.
Way to go. No, I'm just kidding. That's
Jen is better than all of us.
God.
Please
Yeah, that is true.
yes.
Jen wins, okay.
Jen wins everything as usual.
Do you know why I can do it? It's because a kid in 3rd grade could do it, and he was like showing everyone, and I was like, that's not that cool. I bet I could do it. And then I went home and practiced for days and came back and I could do it. But then once I could do it, it was no longer cool because I was not cool like he was.
Oh no.
Fuck you, CJ. Sorry, go on.
First of all, fuck you, CJ. The only thing that I can think of that like didn't really come out was that his oldest brother, Christopher,
Fucking Christopher.
he of the Baldur's Gate swordplay games was like the #1, the top dog. He was like the champ.
Oh, of course.
I have written down he was the Tiger Woods of the Baldur's Gate
Christopher?
swordplay game. Christopher, yeah.
Christopher was.
And specifically,
So really good at the sport, but shitty to his wife?
yeah, it says that actually.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, wild. But I have written down that like the reason why Jaden has given up on like trying to get better at dueling and as a swordsman is that his older brother like came to him one day after practice or something like that and was like, hey, you just don't have what it takes. You would have it by now. and Jaden was like, and then that's what caused Jaden to travel to Neverwinter.
Yeah.
Dang.
Tough love.
Yeah. He was like, let me help you out. Stop trying.
Okay, thanks,
Dang.
Christopher.
Yeah, Christopher's a cool dude.
Amy, drop a Roz bean soup secret in the chat.
Or actually, no. Tim.
I think Eric went first.
Oh yeah, Tim. Give us an
Tim,
answer.
so our question for Amy here is, sort of what character backstory secrets would you like to reveal about Roz?
What character backstory secrets would you like to reveal about Roz?
Yes, that you never got to.
Amy's answer, because she was raised on a farm.
Oh.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Man, Chant that one under lock and key.
Wow, I don't think that came up
love
almost
it.
every episode.
You know what? Thinking about it, it was always there.
A
Wow,
syntactical
yeah.
nightmare, but related.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Just quickly,
Certainly.
because Zareen Miller...
Oh, I was about to say I had two more questions pulled from the chat, but I think you're about to do one of the ones I had.
Oh, that was just
Yeah, go.
the quick one. I think since we're kind of wrapping this one up, just the question that I see is how many other games outside of Fools are you all involved in? Are you players or DMs? Come back to me, I need a count.
I'm in my very first one that's still going because you never finish a campaign. This is the first campaign most of us have finished, I think.
What level are you?
Yeah. I'm level, high. I'm level 17 or 18 or something.
You all
We're
started at
close to
1,
the
right?
end. Yeah, we started at 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Still,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
impressive.
Or maybe 3, somewhere around there. But we are close to the end. It's just we gotta find a time to book those sessions. I'm in another one in a Taldore campaign that sort of broke at pandemic and has not resumed. I'm in there was one shot that ended up being at least 3 or 4 sessions that we never finished. But I think the Taldore one and my very first campaign are really the only 2 D&D campaigns I'm in. Yeah, apart from this one.
I'm not in any right now. Yeah.
You want Eric as a player, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm looking for it.
Slide
But
those DMs.
I am an avid board game player, and I've really started digging Risk Legacy and Pandemic. Those are real incredible fun games. Otherwise, I also do a lot of co-op on Stardew Valley. Me and my buddy have a farm going on that's pretty scenic.
Getting pretty serious now.
It's getting pretty serious.
Oh,
Don't dox him.
Horsey's Bar and Grill. But but that one was too long, so we just named it Horsey's Bar.
awesome. That's a good. I mean, you had to get rid of the grill, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Quick thing, Amy has said I'm voice to texting while driving, so can't check. But she's 65% sure that Roz could also do the clover tongue.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah,
that sounds
exactly right.
Stands to reason.
But she
So
had
how many
no
campaigns?
secrets. Okay, so
This might take a while.
okay, so I am not a DM. I have never DM'd. No.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna make it.
I'm not saying no, but I'm also not promising anything ever. So I do play a currently level 17 game set in Ravnica with Tim as another player, in which I play an artificer. Tim DMs another game that I'm in, which is set in Wildmount, in which I play a paladin. Another character with odd relationships with fire, because that's, I guess, a theme with me. Oops. Oops. And that switches off weeknights with a different campaign I play in a homebrew setting, in which I play a bard who is also a college grad student, because I thought that would be funny.
That's cute.
And they call them bardic colleges.
Exactly. Literally,
grad
it's
student.
bard college.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Bards are also nerds. They also study their magic. Anywho, and then I do play a game that has kind of cycled between a couple of different campaigns. One was set in Eberron, and we've come back to that one, but we took a break from that for a bit to play a little bit of Curse of Strahd. And then I have also had 500 other games that I've started and haven't finished. I had the homebrew game that Tim ran that didn't finish. I had Curse of Strahd that Tim ran that didn't finish. I had Icewind Dale that Jamie ran that didn't finish.
I gotta call him.
I had
They're sitting right there.
there
Just
is
nice
a
I'm
one.
a big fan of every D&D campaign.
scheduling.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had those games. Jamie and I for a while played Horde of the Dragon Queen, which is the first half of the next campaign we'll be playing. That also didn't finish.
Amazing.
I think we got almost exactly to the halfway point.
We got to almost the end of Horde of the Dragon Queen.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, we got so close to the end of that one, and then we didn't finish it. So yeah, lots of games. Oh, I also play in a different homebrew game in which I play a halfling barbarian because I wanted to be tiny and full of rage.
Hell yeah.
That was
I got great news for you.
It's just me. So yeah, those are. That one we haven't played in a long time. Hypothetically, we're still playing it. David, let me know.
You up?
You up?
He's our mod. He might be here.
Fair.
So yeah, I play in a number of campaigns, and I DM none of them.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. We will make you DM for us.
Jamie.
Yeah. My leisurely D&D group that I play in
Scary.
rotates, and sometimes I do DM for it, but recently I've just been playing in it, which has been great. And we, like, every 3 months or whenever the DM is like, I can't run another game for a while. My wife just had a baby, or something like that.
Details.
You know.
Or something like that, you know. Kind of like
that
having a
every
baby.
3
What
months?
else?
It's
Every
crazy.
3 months, the same DM is like, yeah.
I'm coming down with a baby too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's serious.
I feel a baby coming on.
Yeah. Somebody else take over. But in that
What
one-
is that anatomy?
You don't want to know. So we've played a few ones. We're in the middle of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. We just started a Princes of the Apocalypse campaign. We have played Curse of Strahd. We have played this homebrew one, Learguard, that we like a lot. That where I like level 8, I think. Oh, okay, here you go. And
Just
I
bussing
also
tables.
yay server.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
How much do we
Appreciate you.
We
tip?
tip you, we swear.
Thank you for pre-bussing, Jen.
Yeah.
Remember, everybody, if you've got time to lean, you've got time to clean.
Oh, good God, I just threw up a little bit.
Don't forget to fold your napkins.
I,
And I professionally DM 2 games at the moment. And we're doing Strixhaven, and the other one is Out of the Abyss.
Fun.
Yeah.
Tim, how many games do you run?
Oh, and I run one for my
Do
brothers.
we want me running through what all of them are? Or we just want numbers here.
You can just give us numbers if you want.
I'm gonna do the numbers, including one that has only had a session 0 and is about to start as a player. This is not included. None of this is including Legacy of Wolves. As a player, 3. As a DM, 8.
Zing.
Pro DM baby.
DMing is also my job.
Yeah. There's a lot of wells buzzing around in that brain of yours.
How do you remember which
Just on
one?
the Patreon.
Of those 8,
yes,
are any
I
of
wanna
them
go
repeat
into some
campaign
specific
settings?
ones,
Like,
yeah.
repeat campaigns, I guess?
Of the 8, settings, except for that Wild Mouth one Amanda mentioned, they're all in the Forgotten Realms.
Gotcha.
Forgotten
They
Realms.
do also include 2 Dungeon of the Mad Mage and 2 Tomb of Annihilation.
Lots of madness and stuff here.
Yeah.
Going on, we had some questions for our Patreon that are more character-specific questions, so we would love to touch on these. First one, was V a devil?
The question we are all
A
wondering.
question one person has asked like 5 times.
Repeatedly. I agree with it, though.
Eric, is it true? The people want to know.
us the
Stick
story.
around for future seasons to
What a fucking cop out.
see if.
What a fucking cop out.
See?
if,
So he's not a devil yet, is what I'm hearing.
But he will be. If he wasn't already.
Yeah.
Which he might be.
Canonically, no. Not at this point.
Not
which I think is all I will say.
Not yet.
Take a few levels
And
more.
never say never.
That's true.
Oh, someone asked in chat, and I suppose this could be for either of the DMs over there. Do you ever think of bringing your games together for crossovers?
Yeah.
Do you ever do it?
Awesome idea, yeah. Well, there are, let's see.
I wanna.
There are 2, so I also ran this campaign, Lost Minds of Phandelver, for a group of people, my good D&D friends who like Not you guys.
We're your bad D&D.
Wow!
You guys are
ouch.
bad D&D.
Thanks.
I just want you to be
Jamie?
aware you are not them.
Not them.
You could never be them.
Hurts?
It was all of
Okay.
their first time playing D&D.
Aw.
And we got through the campaign, and actually they're in the Out of the Abyss campaign that's currently out of rotation right now for our leisurely group. But yeah, eventually I was going to have them either, you know, descend into the Underdark, or Underdark people come up and just have them all connect. And
That's
there was going to be a
fun.
fight because some of them had turned rogue and
Yeah.
evil, and it was going to be cool.
I think a lot about like what would happen if my characters met each other. And it gets weird sometimes.
Yeah. It's a
There,
strange
I also
thing.
have
Do any of you, I mean, I haven't been playing really long enough that it could work, but do any of you have enough characters in your, you know, you have enough characters, you could make a balanced party out of your characters.
yeah, I
met,
could. I
want to
could.
see Ollie and Danny kill.
Danny is engaged. Very happily.
Hey, not married
I mean, run it by the fiance.
It's not that serious
though.
yet.
Yeah.
Silas, we're not doing that.
I would have like,
He's in the chat.
I'd have a lot of costs. I'd have like paladin, cleric.
Yeah.
I'd have a rogue. I'd have a druid. So like a lot of casting.
Honestly, Ollie and Danny would just like have a good time talking shop.
I'd be healed a lot, you know.
Yeah,
a lot of
I
healing
feel.
in my
Yeah,
party.
I feel like most of my characters would just. Some of my characters need to hear philosophy from other characters. Anyway,
What you got?
My current player characters, if they were a party, it would be Druid, Bard, Barbarian.
That's a great
that's not
party.
It's not
bad.
bad.
That's
That's
not
a
bad.
great party.
That's not
I like that
bad,
party.
actually. No, I think our characters
That's
would be
fun.
not a bad balance, all
Yeah.
things considered. Jaden, or Jamie, does Jaden even enjoy being a fighter, or was that all just like familial duty?
Oh.
Oh, interesting. So I think
I'm crossing off the questions as we go.
nice. I think Jaden did enjoy swordplay genuinely, like I like sword fighting. I think that
Yeah.
was something that like you just grow up around something like that so much.
I mean,
you're probably gonna
swords
end up
are
liking
great.
It. Swords are awesome, and
I
Jamie
love
loves swords
it.
too. So yeah,
Swords are fucking cool, dude.
swords are sick.
So,
But he never anticipated like using it like in a practical application of those skills.
Yeah.
Which is why I tried to play Jaden as like very naive and like bumbling, utilizing these fencing moves
Yeah.
in like actual combat against goblins and stuff like that at the beginning.
yeah.
Jumping on
Yeah.
tables for flourishes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Of
yeah.
course, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
And that was just something that just ended up the jumping on tables thing kind of just ended up. Oh, it actually does provide a slight tactical advantage in some
yeah.
regards, not in the game, but Jaden eventually was like, oh, you know what? It does serve a purpose.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
But does enjoy it to an extent.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I like that I mean, I didn't play a Battlemaster fighter, but I love that the Battlemaster fighter has all these
Like
maneuvers.
parry and riposte.
Parry and
those
riposte,
things, yeah.
and there's like a pushing attack where I think you push them back a little
Maneuver.
bit. I love all of that because it is so like, and I'm sure you do too as a sword person.
I've never played a Battlemaster actually.
I
One day.
Yeah, they're a good time, and I love all those sword fencing terms. It's really evocative for somebody with.
And
a
then
great
you
fear of
just
these
yell
things.
thrust.
And then just thrust and Goo Goo Gaga, yeah. You throw all that out the window and thrust, yeah.
All right.
You take
That is my
everything you
favorite
know,
fencing term.
shove it out the window,
Thrust.
and
No,
thrust.
Goo Goo Gaga.
Oh, Goo Goo Gaga, yeah. Look that one up, folks.
No.
Goo goo, and
I was a
cannot
competition
stress
dancer
this
for 6
enough.
years. No.
I'm not letting that
So
Yeah,
I guess moving on to me. Does Ollie avoid relationships due to trauma or because he is awkward? Is love even a thing for him? Ollie doesn't actually try to avoid relationships. He is just awkward. Canonically, in my brain, he has had a relationship in the past, and it's just, he's an academic. He does spend a lot of time just studying, so doesn't pursue it often. But when it happens, and it's nice. So yeah, I think love is absolutely a thing for him that he would like, but is not necessarily actively pursuing.
There wasn't a lot of time in Phandelver to
Yeah.
get around to that
Although,
sort of thing.
I think Jen and I, we have to talk now.
There was some chipping in chat of Desira and Ollie.
yeah, so, okay, what are your thoughts on Olisira?
Oh, interesting.
I need to know now, because I have thoughts too, but I want to hear your ideas first.
I do think it was interesting, like, because what Desira needed some more of was empathy.
Yes.
And Ollie had buckets of empathy. And so, like, Desira being like, oh, this is, like, with Ollie's scarring, trying to, like, help him with that every night, was kind of like an interesting, you know, I think they could grow to love each other. I don't think they did in the campaign, but I think, like, there was some seeds there that, like, you could imagine them sort of mellowing each other out. Yeah. Especially because Ollie had something of a not quite noble background, but, you know, like, new, like, family pressure, like, you know, a well-off family, like, all these kind of things. Yeah. I think there was something. I think there was potential.
Could be a thing,
There was potential.
It was a spark.
Because I feel very similarly. So this is because I've thought about Ollie and Desira because it has come up in chat a fair amount on what, like, my thoughts on that, what Ollie's thoughts on that would be, and I don't think Ollie would ever actively pursue it. If Desira ever approached him, I think he could be receptive to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who out of those two characters is going to initiate? It would always be Desira.
No. Yeah, because Ollie can't.
She takes what she wants. He does not.
Ollie
yeah.
It has trouble ordering a drink.
Yeah.
Listen, Ollie, I've decided.
Yeah.
We're married now.
We're going on a date Saturday night. You'll pick me up.
So, and I think
wearing something
Ollie
nice,
does
not that.
Burn that.
Ollie does, I think, would have a couple of concerns with this. The one of which is about Desira, and one of which is kind of about him. The first one is, I think Ollie would be afraid that if he ever pursued a relationship with Desira, that she would see him as a project instead of a partner.
I mean, that's kind of when the ship started as far as I recall.
And
exactly.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
But again, I think that is in a few years, I think that could potentially grow
Whereas
out.
I feel like Bronwyn and Ollie were friends.
So that
they
was-
were besties. Like they had potential to like become close friends.
So that was the thing. Another thing I was thinking of is I do think Ollie and Bronn could have been very, very close.
Yeah.
And if Bronwyn had lived, there is potential in my brain that Ollie could have seen that progressing to a romantic relationship.
Right.
That obviously I don't think he would have ever expected it again, but it was a thing that I think he could have see happening.
Yeah. I can
And-
much more imagine Bronwyn and Ollie than
So
Desira and Ollie.
and so I don't think he would ever want it to be like, again, if Desira approached him, there are things he does really like about Desira and could care about Desira too, but he wouldn't want to start anything because he doesn't want to put that kind of a lens of, is this because I like you, or is this because you're
fixing
fixing
me.
me? Do you remind me of someone else? I'm trying to figure that out. But all that said, I think most of the party has stayed together. In a few years, it is, I think, a potential that they could grow into something maybe. Who's to say? Who's
they'll
to say?
have a fling after a one-night stand at
Ollie doesn't get drunk.
at the wedding of Roz and Darren.
Darren,
You know,
Errigal.
yeah, exactly.
That's gonna be a wild night.
Yeah,
absolutely,
It's gonna be a
absolutely.
crazy
So yeah, that is
Thoughts?
Ollie's thoughts on love and romance and Desira. So for Amy, was Amy surprised that Roz was such a fan favorite? Please give me Amy's answer, and then I have a thought on my own.
Amy was a fucking fan favorite. Amy's
obvious.
character was a fucking fan favorite.
So,
yeah.
She was the
Obvious.
party.
The question for
He loved
Amy
her.
is, was
Was
Amy
Amy
surprised that Roz was such a fan
Yes.
favorite? Amy's answer:
Yes.
Ollie, Desira, Jaden, V, in that order.
Oh, I think I know the answer to the
Questions to that answer.
I do too.
Woof. Oh, Jaden got above Desira. Dang.
I mean, yeah.
Big woof. I mean, longer.
Also, yeah.
No,
yeah,
Jade was after
I think
Desira.
that's.
Oh, cool.
It was Ollie, Desira, Jaden.
Ollie, Desira, did I say it wrong?
I don't. I
Desira.
what,
Ollie,
Wow.
Desira, Jaden, V, in that order.
I'm gonna make Desira rank that high.
I win.
Nothing.
I win.
Side note on all the shipping, I can't wait for us to do a new campaign and to see which characters the audience ships in that one, and also your homework assignment audience, which players Lost Minds character and Tyranny of Dragons character do you ship with each other?
This is a legacy game for a
Crossing the
reason.
streams.
Yeah.
This is a legacy game for a reason. It is all
This
for
is like
shipping.
cloning myself so I can make out with myself, but I just get to make out with my old character in my new character.
You're right, it is the best.
It didn't surprise me that Amy's character was a fan favorite. Like,
Yeah.
not just
Oh
because.
my God.
Yeah.
Delightful.
Roz
Like-
is such
like
a
with
great
Roz
character.
was a
like
delight.
anti-D&D character
Yeah.
was the point of it,
And
you know? Like,
Every D&D party has group parent and the precious cupcake who must be
Protect.
Little
protected
cinnamon
at
roll.
all costs.
Yeah, little cinnamon roll.
Yeah. And
And Roz was that.
Ollie was group parent.
Yeah. I was like, wait, we didn't have a... Oh, Ollie, though. Yeah, no, yeah,
We
definitely.
did.
Ollie reluctant.
you didn't think we had a group
It's
parent because
always
it
reluctant.
wasn't you.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me that Amy was the favorite, just because Amy is so funny and
Oh
charming.
yeah,
and,
Amy's fucking hilarious
and great.
And like, I think the idea of Roz was like
Yeah.
every D&D character has a tragic backstory. So
What
what
if I
if a
don't?
D&D character didn't have a tragic backstory and just
Yeah.
like wanted to try something out? And like, it was, and also kind of perfect for a first-time player. Like to play somebody who is new to this adventuring, and like a new player sort of, you know, being like, well, I haven't done this before. You know, it was like a great energy to bring to it. But yeah, Roz was like ideal, fun, like sunshine
She was
character.
so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Um,
And then she got really murderous.
That build was
I like
so
that arc.
good, oddly.
Well, it was just so funny that it was like so easy for her to murder
Her to
people.
do that, it was
Yeah.
So
wild.
then, yeah. Oh, Amy said.
yes.
Amy said. My chat's not working, but A, thanks for saying that. It's very nice of you. B, I honestly just made decisions that'd make her easy to play as a newbie, and it was very fun that it worked for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Love
thanks,
that.
Amy.
Love that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amy.
If you were here, we'd be ragging on you, but you're away, so we get to
So
talk
we
nice
get
about
to
you.
say nice things. Jen, a common thread between your characters is the theme of high society in your characters. Which did you enjoy more playing? The anti-socialite Braun or the pro-socialite Desira?
I mean, Desira,
And also
I
Desira's
whipped up in
growth.
like a week.
Yeah.
Whereas Braun, I like really had time making. So I think Braun was my true love of it. Desira kind of like happened to me.
Yeah.
Whereas Braun, I was intentional with. So I think like Braun, it would have been nice to like get to take her to the end because she was kind of the personality that was more fun to play. Desira was like good for a bit, like, but I think I didn't I didn't use it as much because I was like, I don't want to out Jaden too often.
Because then there's
It
two
was
Jadens in the
enough,
party,
yeah.
and it's just gonna
'Cause
get
Jaden-
bad.
Remember when Amy and Eric
Yeah,
were
and then
gone
it's-
and suddenly it was
it's
Ollie
suck.
and the nobles and I'm like, but why? But why me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I liked Braun more. I think, pardon me, I also, though, liked Desira. I liked Desira as a foil to Jaden to kind of show him who he was.
Yeah.
But then also I liked Desira as, like, a foil to Braun as well, to be like, this is what Braun escaped. Like, this is why Braun is the way she is, because she came from a family like this, you know.
Yeah. And yes, Ollie would overanalyze the one-night stand until he hyperventilated a lot. That is 100% true.
Absolutely.
Tim,
Yes.
talk to us about Glassstaff
Ooh.
What?
and your thoughts on him.
Oh, yes.
Your opinions of Glassstaff.
If anybody in the chat has like super specific things they want me to say about Glassstaff, please drop them. Just in a general sense. I mean, I've run Lost by Defend over a couple times. Glassstaff reads to me at best as an idiot. Glassstaff, I think, and he's essentially the Black Spider's henchman in it as written, and I wanted to play it more as they have an equal stake in this thing, and the Black Staff just had this particular role in this plot. He's definitely the least powerful of these wizards, and I think genuinely, just on a personality level, the least capable. I also think the other four feel that way.
Yeah.
I think he has
Like,
the
hey,
most.
let's go to the bar.
I think he
Don't
has
invite
the
him.
most low stakes job, and that's intentional. I think the others sort of, they need someone to do this job, so Yarno Albrecht is a part of this, but like,
Yeah.
they wouldn't trust him with anything bigger.
That's fair. That's fair. Cool.
Rightfully so.
So those are the specific character questions we got.
You guys see how cute my dog is?
Your dog is
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah.
You can't see it on stream, but there's
I
a
could
you never-
probably show
And
them
you
on
never
screen.
will.
Curled up on the
Wait, I
couch.
could do this.
And you
Oh, God.
never
Okay.
That's
will.
effort. Cool.
Also, can you get the
I've got
cooks
it.
when you're done
I've
with
got
this?
So, were
Oh.
there any other specific questions that popped up in chat, Tim, or?
Wait, here we go.
I think I might have said one more. After we talked a little on Faith,
Wait, pause. I'm showing them my...
Oh!
No,
That's
never mind.
the dog.
I can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
It
Nope,
popped up for a
that's us
second.
again.
It showed up for a second.
Oh my god.
did.
Go back in the stream and pause
Okay,
the
go
video.
back to the way it was, Jen. Make it
Okay,
stop.
I fixed it.
Tell Jen to stop.
Did they see
Chat.
my dog?
I
Yeah,
don't
we did.
know.
You, for a little bit, yes. That was
Second.
I
yes.
was about to say something and I don't know what it was.
The last
Last
question in
topic.
the chat.
Oh, yes. Right after we talked about Faith a bit, we
Uh-huh.
did get the question in the chat. How deep into the concept of faith did Desira get? Was it an obligation or a true faith?
So I think that was also like the exploration of her character was it started as an obligation for sure. Her parents were like, we have placed your sister in politics. We need on the other branch of politics, like the church is very powerful and we want to place you in the church. You will pursue that. That is what you will do. Like I think they were a bit like that with their children. Their children were kind of used for power.
This
you
is
know?
the job you have.
Yeah, exactly. For the family, for the Achaidh family. So I think she like went into the church being like, I'm good at everything, so I'll be good at this. And then was like pissed that she didn't become a totem sister. And I think she really like, you know, she like understood the value of faith, but I don't think she really connected with it until this campaign. Like I think that's kind of she received her calling or like she had received dreams before and she was like, well, of course you would call me. I'm wonderful. And that's when the goddess was like, no, you need to be able to be humble as well as proud. Yeah. Oh, you'll learn.
Hi, baby girl.
And then the goddess like told her to go to this village and she found her dead sister and all of this kind of happened. And I think that was a bit like, oh, there's like Bronwyn had a whole other life apart from the family. And I have received dreams from the goddess, and like the goddess kind of keeps talking to her a little bit, so I think she's actually connecting with her faith now, like as a result of this adventure, whereas before she had seen it as just like an aspect of your life that, you know, everybody had, but she was using for political power and like was something her parents expected of her.
A question in the chat that popped up is, what is one thing you would change about the campaign, either for your character or for the campaign? Ooh, buddy. I don't know.
Also, that's followed by some very nice words, and thank you.
Thank you.
yeah.
I appreciate that too. Does
You're
anyone have
amazing.
thoughts? I don't know. I don't know.
Ignore the heist. when it comes to
Never
We skip the
do
heist.
Live, yeah.
Live.
I mean, don't
Don't
split the
split the
party.
party.
Don't split the party.
But
It
it
is
was
a big
such
one.
a good idea, Tim!
What I do love though is evidently
Spend
this
5 rounds
group
choking on a raisin.
particularly is bad at heists. Because when we did Honey Heist, it was still we didn't
yeah,
split
Honey
the party,
Heist.
and y'all still went off the
Cursed
rails.
for heist.
So I think never
That's great.
heist ever again.
Can't wait for keys from the Golden Vault.
No.
Oh, heist campaign.
This is where the TPK
heist.
comes in. So many heists that we die. Yeah, I don't know. I think Fandelver is such a good little starter
Little baby
adventure.
Yeah.
I liked our little side quests. I had fun, you know, exploring trauma. For sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't try anything either because I did classes I normally don't play. I normally play like casters and stuff, so that was it was a nice spread. I guess one thing I would change that I was playing with the idea of and then ultimately walked away. I was going to talk to Tim about making V a bit of a turncoat in the party, like the red brands and the network outside.
Did you
infiltrating.
stop that because we became friends?
Yeah.
He
He
changed
just texted Tim one day, never mind.
They changed
We had
me.
never firmly arrived.
We changed him with
It was
the
like
power
a-
of friendship.
A vague idea we had talked about, but
Power of
like,
friendship,
figured out what it was
guys.
gonna look like.
Yeah, it felt a little too antagonistic for the first season too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
next season.
I love that we like bullied you the whole time though.
Yeah, maybe I should have. Maybe it would have made a lot of sense if he was like,
Yeah.
You
Fuck
guys.
these guys.
I kind of liked that V like kind of took it in stride because it seemed like these people were so out of his social sphere. And it's like, what do I care? You're the
Yeah.
toll booth operator. Like,
And he just
what's your opinion mean to me?
Ian put in chat because
so
he's a
much-
devil. That's why he would be a turncoat.
I
he
honestly,
had so much confidence,
Yeah.
like projected confidence.
Yeah.
right.
Also,
yeah,
completely separately, the week that we had to come up with new characters, both Eric and I came in and were like, they're really hot.
Yeah. For some reason,
I was
we
like,
want to.
she's
We want the
like,
hotties.
Like Mean Girl's gorgeous. She was a mean girl in high school. She's just like, you know, she looked like she was the most popular girl. And he was like, think Brad Pitt. It was like,
Prettiest man you've
amazing.
ever seen.
Yeah.
I want this man to
Both
be
of us were like, if we're
beautiful.
dying and coming back, we're coming back hot.
I honestly might have a more solid answer to this as I get further removed from this campaign.
Yeah.
It's still a bit fresh.
We'll
I
come
don't know
back
that
to
I have,
it.
I'm not talking about changing the name. I might build that heist differently.
Ah.
That thing got more intense than I meant it to be.
And literally, like, I feel like that too
In a
was
way.
I had like, and Ollie and Jaden got like really heated too in a way that we
yeah.
hadn't expected, and I feel like all of us were like, how did
I had to like
this?
go up Amanda afterward and be like, Amanda, just so you know, that was like
I know.
all like role playing
And
character
we're like,
stuff.
cool,
Like, are we
cool,
cool?
we're
Are we
friends,
cool?
we hugged
Okay, cool.
after that
we're good,
fight.
we're good.
They like screamed at each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were so mad at Ollie and Jaden were so mad at each other.
And it was
in that
so
moment.
hot in the living room that night.
That is true.
I remember being like,
help,
God
didn't
damn
help.
I
it.
need to know.
Contributed to it.
I think it did for me. At least.
Someone's
yeah.
coming back, guys. Someone might die.
Oh no.
The beers was a fun. That's a fun inside joke. You get a beer if your character
if you
dies.
die, that is nice. Yeah.
An inside joke we'll
Something.
never revisit.
No,
Yeah,
never,
ever.
I'm gonna desperately try. We're gonna desperately try not
No
to
more
kill people.
beers?
I
I'm sorry, no more
I've seen it like on Tumblr and different things, some campaigns, like every time they kill and like an NPC or like, you know, a baddie in the
Yeah.
fight, they get like a gummy bear. Like it's, and there was like a DM had, instead of minis, they had gummy bears,
Yes,
and
it's
so every
like-
time
and
you killed
then
one,
a
you got the gummy
donut.
bear.
Oh,
Yeah, a
The
donut, as the
donut
big
was like
bad
the
at
big
the
big
end.
bad.
Yeah.
Funny.
Love it. So those are all the chat questions, I think. Quickly, Jamie,
Yeah.
give us the top 5 unused episode titles, please.
Top 5? Okay, cool.
And
So I
then
did
we're
mark.
gonna circle around to our
I have
last
them all.
question.
I have them all here. All the except for the ones I
All
didn't
of
write
them
down.
from the whole campaign?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, all
Except for the
on
ones I
one
didn't
piece
write
of
down,
paper.
yeah.
Oh, can we real quick go back to the character sheet thing where we were talking at the start, how we have our character sheets? Wildly, Amy has like one sheet the entire time that's all
yeah.
handwritten, that she has just like updated the entire time, like added little things.
amazing.
She has beautiful
it's a living
handwriting.
record.
Amy
But
has
she's
great
just, like,
handwriting.
amazing handwriting, but she has just like slowly added to that. It's been the same like one piece of paper the entire time, and it is
Amy just
wild.
wrote, "Am I supposed to have more?"
No one told me that.
You are supposed to have as many as you need, Amy. If it is one, you are a
There were
genius.
a lot of eraser
Great.
marks on that
Give
thing.
us some highlights of those.
Highlights of
Yeah.
names.
Projected episode titles.
And then we're gonna. We have a big final question, and then I think.
Well, I want to do just. It may not be much, but I do want to do something before we get into
Okay,
the
sure,
podcast.
sure,
Bit
sure.
of Tim talk.
I
Tim
have.
Talk, great.
I have like 6 or 7 that I've marked as being especially great.
Okay, give us the 6 and 7. 6 or
Lightning
7.
round. Let the ollies hit the floor. Honka honka or ee.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
This one is Balls Day. Voluptuous gourd. Schrodinger's familiar. The nightbird poopeth. Spiral cut shamblers. Diaphanous muskrat. Spin that spider. Followed by spin that slice. And the last one is Big Thank Fuck. From our last episode.
I think the moral here is we've done a good job picking episode titles.
Oh my god, wait, sorry, I missed the best one.
Yes.
Goddess of Magic, Jesus Christ. How did I miss that one?
I like that one. Before we get to our big final question, just out of curiosity, and like if the chat has stuff, throw stuff in chat. That's fine. Do any of you have like questions for me on like story stuff?
Yeah.
Great question. No.
No.
Goodbye.
And then Tim left and
No,
haven't seen
and
him
he's
since.
If we
walking.
had, okay, so just say, if we had done the
Oh.
heist,
Yeah.
yeah.
If we had tried to take anything apart from the lantern, what would have happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
What
was
other
that
things
shit?
were in the?
I'm trying to remember exactly what I put in there. I mean,
'Cause Ollie was-
there was a
But
bunch
like,
of...
were there
scary.
alarm systems for that stuff? Or was there like,
No,
was
you'd have gotten away with it. There was a lot of money in there.
gotten away with it too.
I think-
Ollie was traumatized.
I think there might have been 1 or 2 magic items in there.
Uh-huh. There was
The
the key.
thing that would have made a difference,
Yeah.
a significant difference going forward, was the key.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that was planted there very intentionally at that
Yeah.
point. That was the conduit item from that's it's not like I decided to make it that later. That was the conduit item.
Yeah.
That was the key. It was literally the key to their plan. It was literally Lorna's whole job was to make it and have it at the ready, and she made it in the shape of an oversized key because she's not actually that creative person.
Yeah. And honestly, like, they may have taken out other things if it had gone better.
So
Ron probably would have.
Well, see, it was like your character
You-
made my character promise not to take things.
Yeah, but
like I'm
snuck
the
it.
thief. Yeah.
you were already gonna have the wizards starting to pop up on the fringes
Yeah.
of the story anyway.
Because Brunhild popped
It
up
would
early,
have been,
too.
and so did Rufiano.
Yeah, yeah.
It would have been. Things might have been a little more aggressive if you took the key.
Interesting.
Because
That makes-
they needed
They
it
needed
back.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Interesting.
And for the record, you were on their radar, and they were starting to do stuff behind the
Yeah.
scenes to fuck with you. As soon as Glassstaff was out of the picture, they were all after you.
Yeah.
Rufiano was in the countryside around the town the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah.
creepy.
He came and looked for you. Like, when you ran into him in the middle
That
of the
was
night
not
outside of town,
happenstance.
he did not happen upon you by
Okay.
accident. He came looking for
Yeah,
you.
that makes sense.
To get information. Brunhild turned up in town
Yeah.
to try to lure you into a trap.
Yeah. Was that actually, that was Ollie's side quest, though? Was that Brunhild's trap, or?
Yes!
Yeah, okay.
You
Which,
were
it
looking for
worked!
those people anyway. I needed to make it an action
Yeah.
situation. So
Yeah.
Brunhild
Yeah.
found out that you were after them and specifically guided you to them
Yeah.
to set the house on fire and
Sure.
get you to run in.
Well, it worked! I do have a quick question.
It just didn't kill you.
Exactly.
Actually, before you get into that,
Uh-huh.
I want to just check on one thing, because I did a little thing in the last episode. I want to know if I'm curious if anybody clocked it, because Brunhild was very tied into Hrothgar's backstory.
Yes,
And I
yes.
just, after Hrothgar died, I decided to leave that.
Yeah.
Just to have it still, because I knew we were getting, like, Bronwyn's sister, so Bronwyn was still going to
yeah.
be, like, relevant to the story. I want to
Yeah.
make sure Hrothgar still was, too.
Yeah.
At the end, when you had that final confrontation with them, she had some little speech about, like, taunting you about his death.
Yeah, yeah.
And making some comment about, like everything he did was meaningless, and
Yes.
everything you're doing is going to be meaningless too. And
Yeah.
she specifically said, like, he was always talking about
About
trying
bringing
to
them together.
about uniting the Dwarfholds, about bringing people together, and he didn't bring anybody together.
Surprise, he brought us together!
Okay, great.
No,
The intention of that.
I was thinking that.
Was
I was
she's
thinking-
wrong. He
Yeah.
brought the 4 of you together, and
Well,
Eric wants to get into this, but a
5.
part of his thing
Well, I
was
guess, yeah,
he had this directive
Yeah.
from his god to get out there and bring people together,
Yeah.
and it was never about the Dwarfholds.
No.
It was you guys.
About Jaden.
And,
Yeah.
and part of it
Satisfying.
was he had visions of a catastrophe that was going to befall Ironmaster that he needed to bring people together to avoid.
Yeah.
And that catastrophe, it was in vague terms, we didn't know the exact nature of it. It was Brunhild.
Yeah, that makes sense. Quick question, I guess for both Eric and Tim. What was Hrothgar's side quest?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
It was the vision stuff.
Well, that was like
What
just
was-
his sort
what
of
vision?
personal
What was the goal? Like
Yeah.
a heist. Like a heist.
Hrothgar's side quest was gonna wind. I don't remember exactly what the phrasing of the thing Eric sent to me was, but it was ultimately going to wind up in the form of him getting sent to an abandoned temple to Baron Artrusilver in the hills to retrieve like an important relic to then establish a shrine in Phandalin for the Dwarven Miners.
Wow.
And I was in the middle of designing
Yeah.
that quest.
Best laid plan.
The details
What
of that
happened?
quest
What
when
happened?
the heist happened and he died.
Oh.
And Dan, who makes our maps, I think during that game texted. I had given him like a list of locations I needed mapped for that ruined temple, and I got a text mid-game from him, just going, "So I'm gonna stop working on this map."
Whoa.
Thank you, Dan.
He's like, I literally
Big whoop.
started the first of those while watching this,
And then
I guess I'm gonna stop.
Big
Whoops.
whoa.
He just put in the chat, yes, during that game.
Ooh, buddy.
Ouchies.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There's a little
Awesome.
quarter done map in Incarnate. Could we get like that quarter done map for like Patreon content?
Oh.
Yeah, probably.
That'd be fun.
I can pull it off the Incarnate later.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
It was like a bummer we didn't get to we went and met a bunch of dwarven miners and like our like party dwarf was not with us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
speak
Could
dwarven,
not-
riddle of the dwarven.
could
like,
not-
He was gonna
Uh,
hoe me up pretty fast.
yeah.
He was
do
gonna
any of
ton
this
so much stone.
So much stone.
God, you guys were gonna talk stone for hours.
Oh,
so much
man,
stone.
Just leave me here. I'm gonna.
All right.
Was Darren ever gonna be like Darren and Roz? Tim, this is for you. Darren and Roz. Any potential there ever?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
One of the, I think,
they're
like,
us.
the next to last session, I literally turned to Amy, like before the session, was like, listen, so, to you, is this a bit or is that a thing you want to happen? And she was
We're
kind of
never
like,
sure.
I don't know. I can't answer this question.
I felt that way about
I
relationships.
never was entirely sure, and I was going to feel it out in the moment if it came to it. And I think I'm never going to answer that question.
Yeah.
Well, let's
It's a
ask.
legacy.
Well,
Peter,
and the
I
other thing
think-
is,
The legacy
we
game.
might not be done with Roz. We might not be done with Darren
That's
Etterman.
true. That's true. But we do.
Roz-
They
we-
may show up in later games. So we'll
Roz
see what
is
happens.
definitely
so I
not done with
I
Darren
do
Etterman.
wanna. I think that is a good question though. Amy,
Yes.
uh,
I will answer for Amy.
did you?
There are 3 more of these answers, by the way. So we're going to need 2 other questions before we're
Okay.
out.
Amy. So yeah, did you want Ross to end up with Darren Ettermath?
The question, did you want Roz to end up with Darren
Yes.
Ettermath? Amy's answer, more margaritas.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
I assume
That sounds like
I assume
a
what
yes
she
to me.
needs to answer that question.
Of course.
You know, that sounds right.
Or what she needs to give to Darren to make it happen.
Well, I don't like that.
She's asking for a bribe. She wants more margaritas,
they're
and then
Not
she'll
in
answer the
like,
question.
okay.
It's what will they drink on their
sharing.
first date?
They're sharing
margaritas.
margaritas. They're sharing margaritas that we didn't canonically invent in this campaign.
We did.
We didn't name them, but we invented it.
We did.
Toadlin's gonna go on and name it the margarita.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
We only have
The
one.
Fandarita.
I like that actually. Well, margarita is named after like a flower.
What were you about to say, man?
We only have one question really left that I feel like is a good wrap-up question.
Okay, then do we
Oh, wait.
want to do...
Amy's real answer in the chat. I wanted it for Roz because I wanted Roz to be happy. I logically wasn't sure that it actually made sense though. It always felt maybe like too much of a schoolgirl crush to really feel satisfying and right if it happened.
That's fair.
She's like a dog chasing a car. She doesn't know what she'd do if she
Do
got
we
it.
want to do 2 more Amy questions, blind Amy questions, before or after this wrap-up question?
So right now.
Do we have? Do you have an Amy? Does anyone have an Amy?
Do I have an
Question.
Amy? I have an Amy.
Someone have an Amy question?
Jamie has an Amy.
There's an Amy in your name.
Amy.
Just
Or
hit me with the question.
I
Yeah, Amy, what was
I
your
will think
favorite
of one.
part of playing D&D for the first time?
Yeah.
I am offended by the question, and I won't answer it.
Oh no! Why did I ask? It should have been anybody else.
It says, Eric, don't come home.
You can crash on my couch. It's fine.
Can I say
Also,
that to
Jamie
Watson?
can't ask the last one because he just looked at the list
I
of answers.
didn't read it, but I don't have a question anyway, so don't worry.
Jen, do you have a question for Amy? Amy's predetermined answers.
Amy, where did Roz's love of killing come from?
Her legs, ironically.
Wow, the irony. The irony.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Amy, for those insightful answers. I think we might try to have some bonus content at some point for our Patreon subscribers, where we bombard Amy with questions. So, Amy, be prepared for that, and subscribe to our Patreon if you want to see it. And finally, to round us out for the evening.
Sorry, Amy put in the chat in all caps. I have played D&D before, homie.
I knew that. I have
that's
played
why
with
she was
her.
offended.
I have played with her before. So for those of us who are newer or less new to D&D, for those of you who are newer, how do you feel about D&D now? And for those who have been around it for a while, how does it feel finishing a campaign or finishing this campaign?
This is the first campaign I finished.
This is also the first campaign.
As a player.
Yeah.
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 Is it all of
Pretty
us?
cool.
It's the first campaign we've
It
ever
is the first
finished.
campaign
It might be.
It is, yeah.
They always seem to fall apart.
You haven't
We
played in a campaign that finished?
I'm not sure I have.
Oh my god!
D&D, baby!
Wow.
I have a couple of campaigns going that I feel are going to finish hopefully in a year or more.
Yeah.
At some point.
A year or more, hopefully?
I don't know
Well, that's
how
my very
long.
first is like on a timeline to finish, but like we haven't scheduled games for it, so it's
Yeah.
like once every 6 months we meet up and like get a little closer, like to where like probably 3 or 4
Like,
sessions to the
Oh my
end.
God.
The Ravnica game I play in, we've been playing regularly, which is great, but also we're going to level 20. It's a very big world and big game, and it's super fun. So one day I think we will finish it.
Yeah. Tell us in chat if you've ever finished a campaign.
Have you finished a D&D game? But it was exciting for me to finish a campaign. Was it a little? It's like a little bit. I don't know. I like that this is a legacy game because these characters can come back.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's like
But-
kind of important to it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of am just like I brought like Ollie's character sheet and all the things that I'm going to switch out dice for Ollie. So I feel like very much like, okay, we're just putting this on the shelf, and you know, there's I'm very excited for the next campaign. But I don't know, for me there's a little bit of a bittersweet, like
Exactly what I
setting
was
the
gonna
good boy
say.
on a shelf for a bit.
Yeah, for sure. I just remembered I played a very short campaign that was like 6 to 8 sessions.
Yeah.
And I finished that
Yes,
one, but
okay, that
obviously
is true.
because it was a shorter one.
I did finish a different campaign that was again very much planned to be. This is, a couple of months.
It has an end point.
Yeah.
We're not going beyond. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, but yeah.
I've already answered this
just
question.
answered
I
it.
think twice. I think I started and I think I just...
Like, how did you feel finishing a campaign?
Oh, how did I feel? Oh, that's true. I haven't addressed that.
feelings, Jamie?
Talk
about your feelings.
Honestly, it feels... I don't know. It feels strange. It feels surreal a little
like
bit.
finish with a character?
Yeah. It feels weird to put him on a shelf. It feels right, but it also feels strange. Like, especially because I have, like, the level 1 character sheet that became the level 5 character sheet. Like, this is all of Jaden right here, and he's about to be retired to the old character folder. Full of characters that never got to finish their campaign. But
he's
Jaden,
done.
He
Well,
finished.
Graduated.
Yeah, he graduated.
Eric?
Yeah, it feels very weird for me because it doesn't feel complete. I thought it was gonna feel very complete, but this feels like the first entry in a very long series. I think especially for this as a project at large. I thought it was gonna feel very much like the end of a book and like, okay, yeah, we're done with it, but it just feels like there's so much more open story, there's so much more world that these characters are gonna come back in, so...
Some of the later runs might feel more like the whole book. This is kind of a novella.
Yeah. But ultimately, ultimately feels good and weird.
And best laid plans, I wanted to end on that question, but we got more questions in the chat. Any dice rituals or favorite sets of dice?
I got
Here's
one.
the dice
You got
goblin.
one? Raise your hand if you have dice rituals, you would say. Raise your hand. Okay, cool,
I
go
don't
ahead.
rituals. I mean, okay, for characters, I definitely like to curate my sets of dice. Like, I have all these dice with me. If someone wants to talk while I bring them out,
Oh, I was gonna say
we
about.
can.
I feel because I had 2 different characters too, so I didn't quite get to like
Yeah.
finish the first one. And yeah, it's like a mini adventure, so there's not like a sense of finality, which I think is also why when we did our like, oh, what happens in the future for this character in the last episode, I kind of gave it some open-endedness. I like gave it the little like she rebels against her parents by like coming home with Bronwyn's body but then leaving again to adventure. But also like, you know, who's to say where that goes and like what it leads to. I tried to give it like a little bit of, if I wanted to pick her up again, she would still be something of at the same point as where she is currently. Like, you know, there's not a big turning point yet in her future. She's already kind of had a mini turning point, but yeah. I don't know.
As far as dice, so Ollie's dice palette, if you can see, it's very...
Almost
that does look
brought
good on
mine.
camera.
It's very red, orange,
It's
fire.
very fireable.
Like, and that was intentional. Like, I bought, the ones I specifically bought for Ollie were these little teeny tiny
Oh, that was
ones.
specific for him?
Those I specifically bought for Ollie.
Those are great.
The little baby ones. And then curated it. So yeah, I have curated dice sets.
You have rituals too.
I have realized I do sometimes just blow on my die before I roll it, or I will have someone else if I'm having really bad luck.
Do you want to show them the bottle, or?
Oh yes, this is not even just a dice ritual. This is just an Amanda collects things ritual. So like I have trinkets that I have for my characters. I'm so sorry this is going off the rails now. So I specifically decided that Ollie's spell focus was citrine, a citrine necklace. So this is actually a tiger's eye necklace, but I didn't have a citrine necklace.
Oh, jeez.
But I do have this little bottle of citrine that I bought at a Ren fair and would keep in my dice tray for Ollie. Also, I have my class pins that I know it doesn't matter to almost anyone but me.
The one day that Amanda
But the
forgot
one
that
time
pin.
the one time I forgot my wizard pin, I don't think I rolled above a 5 the whole night. So I think it means something. But
That was a rough session.
But yeah, I do have this little wizard class pin. I will have a class.
It was recent. It was recent.
I do have a class pin for my next character. You'll find out which one is there. Shout out to my friend Travis at Fistful Designs on Etsy. He makes them. But yeah, I just collect a lot of things. I like to have my things. I will be treasuring my hat and fingerless gloves that I will not wear for the next character because the next character doesn't have it, but they will be treasured in my home forever. So yeah, I have a lot of trinkets, and that goes into dice and etc.
You also have dice jail. You have like
I do have a dice
Oh,
jail
yeah,
as well.
dice jail.
That if they're being mean to me, I'm like, well, y'all are gonna just go away for a while. Yeah, I guess those are my rituals and everything.
I did something with my dice that I didn't know there was a word for until I heard it from some D&D veterans that I know. I bake my dice.
Oh,
I had no idea what bake was, but go ahead.
do you mean like you put them so like the 20 is facing up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I only do it with the D20 though. I don't do it with the other ones for some reason.
I do that with my D20s. I have one set of dice that goes in a box, not for Ollie, but goes in a box versus in just like little bags that I make.
Yeah.
And so when I store those dice, I do put them on the highest face. So
Amazing.
yes, Jen is taking a picture of my crazy mound of dice that I have way too many for this
Dice.
character. But oops.
Also, before every game, I roll my D20 until it rolls a 20, just to prove that it can do it.
I don't do that because I'm afraid I'm gonna use up the 20s.
See, that's one of those things I do not subscribe
Neither
to.
of those things are how statistics work.
Jen,
I accept your faith. I accept
Thank
it.
you.
I do
You
not
just need to
subscribe
let me have
I do
it.
not subscribe to it, but I accept it.
Thank you. That's all I need. You don't have to do it. It's for me.
I also pick out like themed dice to the character. I think that's it.
Do we have any further stuff on this?
No.
Because a question has gone in the chat that I actually think is a really
It's
great
a
wrap-up
good
question.
We did
final
we did
question.
something like this if you like in a Patreon thing.
Patreon.
But it was only
episodes
But
one
that
word.
was only one word.
Oh, now it's 3 words.
So yes, for the final question.
For real this time.
For realsies.
Final.exe
to tease the next campaign characters. Who wants to start?
3 words to tease.
To tease the next campaign character.
Let's sit in silence until we think of them.
Just what the people want to see.
My brain was like, "Oh, that's a good word," and I was like, "What if I change that in the next 2 weeks?" There's still time. There's
I'll
still
start
time.
with mine. Mine is MDM. Dragons.
MDM dragon.
Wow.
I love it.
Good
I
tease.
love it.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a 17 level game, isn't it?
15.
Oh, 15.
15. It ends at
15 level
it
game.
goes
We
to
just did a
15.
5 level game. Guys, we're about to do a 15 level
Yeah.
game.
We're gonna be going.
Tyranny of Dragons is
Yeah.
coming.
Either of you have thoughts?
Big dad energy.
Nice. Nice.
I already did mine. I can't go again.
Do it again, Eric. Keep saying it.
Keep saying it.
Big dad energy.
Slower. Slow it down.
Big dad.
If you're
All right, now I
you're
can't
slowing it
concentrate.
down, you also have to go deeper.
Big
Oh god. Oh god.
dad.
I'm feeling this through the.
There's an earthquake.
Um,
Okay, I'm gonna make them up now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. I forget what my one word was, but I think I'm gonna repeat it because I think that's what it was. I'm gonna say. I think it was Slugger, which I liked a lot and I want to stick with. Slugger. Prisoner.
Okay.
And I think just crude. I know.
Amy's-
Oh, this is
Slugger,
gonna be
prisoner,
fun.
crew.
This is gonna be a fun one.
Amy put in the chat of your slowed down words. Can someone clip this for me? For no reason.
Did
It's nice that your wife loves you.
Yeah.
It really is.
Amy, do you want to throw 3 words about your
Yes.
character
Oh
in the
yeah.
chat?
Throw
One
it
of
through.
those
Uh-huh.
maybe tease.
Gotta get something from Amy.
We would love to hear it.
Gotta get that.
Jen, do you have?
Yeah, I don't have them. I don't fucking know. I'm like, what's revealing but not too revealing?
Yeah.
Right, that's the tough part.
That's
Yeah,
hard.
that's me
it's
choosing an
hard.
outfit every day.
Um,
Exactly.
But you just wear the same things every
Yeah,
10
yeah.
episodes. You're just kidding.
Hey. Oh, okay. Reveal for the.
Oh! No, do your words first.
Things that I do. Because I decided I didn't want to make decisions on what I wore, was after 10 episodes, I just started the same 10 episode cycle again with outfits. So in episode 0, I wear the same as what I wear in episode 10, as what I wear in episode 20, as what I wear in episode 30. Same with 1, 11, 21, etc.
So if you go back and watch our YouTube videos, you'll see it.
Yep.
You'll see the repeats.
Continuity.
I like that you incled episode 0
Zero that
there.
we didn't
Like
have.
that's a thing we streamed and not a thing we did privately.
I am lost of brain.
We're gonna pull it from the vault one day.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just do a quick one. For the plot. That's her 3-word summary.
I like that actually.
For the plot.
I know what it means and I like
Yes.
it.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's clever.
Where are you? Wait, sorry.
Amanda's brain.
Where are you?
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm so sorry.
So 2 words are new kid. And the third one will be...
New kid. It's a baby.
Yes, I can get
A baby next
Yes,
season?
I'm
Fuck, I
playing
didn't know
a
we could do
baby.
that.
Boss baby.
Can we do a party of
Character is
babies?
Boss Baby.
All right.
Party of boss
Jamie, I
babies.
can't reveal it yet.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
God,
Spoilers. We'll cut this.
New kid. Desert. That's it.
Amy put into the chat, is big titty 1 word or 2?
I think if you hyphenated, it's 1.
It could be either. It depends on how you spell it.
All right.
But yeah,
I think that's
that
us
is
for tonight?
our thing. Unless
Yeah.
we get the last 3 words
Yeah.
from Amy. But we do have big titty.
So leave that 1 word up to your imagination.
So yeah, Jen, does anyone have anything to promote?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
My immersive theater company, Dramatic Exit, is running an interactive comedy murder mystery called Murder at the Speakeasy every Wednesday night in July at 3 clubs in Hollywood. Please come. We would love to have you there. It's a really fun time. I'm very proud of it. Tickets are available on our website, dramaticexit.com.
What's more comedic than murder? Really?
Woo, it's true.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Anyone else have things to promote?
You do.
I do, yes. This Thursday, I believe, is the 27th of June.
I believe that is correct.
At the Roguelike Tavern in Burbank, California. There is a little event called the Dungeon Descent Ultimate. I will be one of several DMs running a little tight one-shot, and then it devolves into madness, and a big epic battle is basically what we do for the latter portion of the thing. So player tickets are sold. There's no rooms left at tables, but the way it's going to work is spectators are going to be able to add to the game and contribute to the game and join in various ways. So if you can get there and you wanna,
Go!
Best advertisement ever. If you can get there and you wanna, check out the Roguelike Tavern this Thursday, June 27th for the Ultimate Dungeon Descent.
All right. Anyone else? No?
What's Amy got to say about it?
Amy has
Can we go to
two
Amy
filthy
for the-
casuals
Oh, yeah, that's true.
on
Yeah, I was
that on
Anyway, you
any
get your podcasts.
She also has a stand-up show on June 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
This Friday
This
at
Friday.
the Comedy Store.
I was right.
Oh, wow.
I paid attention.
You have to do it because she said in chat, Eric, plug my shit. You should know.
I do, yeah. No,
We-
just did this Friday.
Where's the
did.
Okay.
Yeah,
the
Comedy Store.
the show's at 7, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So come to the
You're
Rogue-
such a better husband, Amanda.
The
I
other
will
you.
throw out there that before we started, I made some comment about, like, Eric can just answer questions on Amy's behalf, and Amanda was like, no, me!
She's
She
like,
pushed
I am
me
better.
I have
over.
no.
Yeah.
She fully was
Amy.
like, I outrank you.
She suplexed me.
Yeah, we gotta take Eric to the hospital after this.
Sorry.
I'm in pain.
Okay, well, to take us out,
Yeah, go
thank
ahead.
you so much for. Oh my gosh, there was another thing we finished last week, and I almost cried just a little bit at the end. I was
No.
like, oh, I'm attached to this. Not that the project is finished. We're gonna keep fucking going.
You have to watch us.
Rid of us.
Yeah. But thank you so much for watching this. If you watch this, you're probably deeper in because you actually cared about all the stuff we didn't find out.
Yeah.
Not just about when we killed bad things. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already and you love us this much, go follow us on Instagram
Come on.
and on YouTube and on this Twitch.
On
Even
the
subscribe.
Yes.
Apparently that's different from following. I don't understand how, but I'd love if you did it. And Facebook even, we have one of those. Mostly it's just reposting stuff we put on our Instagram, which is where we tell you everything that is happening. Right above Eric, you can see our Instagram and our YouTube. Every Friday we publish what we streamed live on Tuesday. Right above me is our Patreon. If you happen to be financially capable and able and want to, it's a lovely way to support us. It just helps us keep this thing going because we don't make any money. We only put all of the money back into the project by buying equipment and doing all that stuff just to keep it going and to keep making something. Because, if you can, make something.
Yeah, that's a lovely sentiment.
Actually,
Yeah.
want to go back to my self-promotion thing from before.
God damn it.
The tickets are also available on Eventbrite, but they're in separate events for logistical reasons, and our website has it all mushed into one page.
Amazing.
And it's just embedded.
But go to our Patreon.
But for Ladies You
Patreon.
Fools, go to the
Yeah.
Patreon and the Instagram.
Yeah.
Amazing. And
and I-
at some point, a big Yellow Taxi show's coming
Yeah,
up.
I'll be
Oh,
next
yeah.
month.
He doesn't care.
It's a while.
And so,
Not the
yeah.
time. Too
Is that everything?
I guess Tim,
Okay,
take us out.
Tim, take us out.
So,
Big Tim.
Big
Very different from
Tim.
Little Tim.
just as a reminder of things to come, we are dark next week. We're just gonna be, getting our
Planning?
ducks in a row and doing some planning.
Get drunk.
We doing stuff behind the scenes. But 2 weeks from tonight, same bat time, same bat Twitch channel, different bat apartment we film in. We are going to be starting our second campaign, Tyranny of Dragons. So please come join us. It's going to be a great time. if you know other people you think would like this who haven't watched us yet,
It's a great time to
great
start.
time to bring them in.
Yeah.
New story. Aside from
Have
that,
a watch party. Have a watch party with all your friends.
a big thank you to all our
Don't tell them it's a watch party.
A big thank you to all our usual thank you people. Thank you to Matthew Hernandez and Edgard to Dios for all their help with our tech. Thank you to Dan for all of our battle maps made on Incarnate Pro, even the ones that had to be abruptly not finished. Thank you to Rob Carlos for all our official art.
we didn't
the
show the
logos,
art.
character art. What?
We didn't show the art. Wait,
yeah,
real
show
quick.
the art.
Wait, real quick.
Oh yeah.
fucking assholes.
Wait, hold
We
on.
have the
Everyone,
big
everyone,
versions.
It's,
grab character. You can also have
Just,
Amy's.
Yeah, I'll just show Amy's.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where's
And Jaden's is unfortunately still behind my couch, and it is so heavy I cannot move it. So Jaden
right.
will be recovered one day. He's still in good condition.
So yeah, this is
Oh my gosh.
this is Ollie.
That's
Oh,
Bronwyn.
so cool.
Beautiful.
We don't
Wait,
have
I'm going
it.
to take it out of
Oh,
the
yeah,
sleeve.
That's
real
true.
quick.
We should
Oh,
do
yeah.
that.
You can see it without the shine.
without the glare.
Yeah.
That's the most important one. Don't worry about all the others. This is Bronwyn. She's amazing, and I love her.
We do love her very
So
much.
good.
Desira's art is also beautiful.
From top to boots, I love
We
her.
just don't have
Look ye
a big
upon
one.
Rob's works and weep.
And this is Ollie. Oh god,
Oh no.
he's my good boy.
And we're gonna have new ones to show in.
We're excited,
Yeah.
yeah. The art for my new character is stunning.
Oh,
I
sick.
cannot
We
wait.
already have the big versions like
We
this,
do
right?
have the big versions, but I've been expressly...
But we can't see them yet.
Forbidden to show them. Yeah, no,
Yes, absolutely.
As is correct.
I honestly might cry when I see
and-
maybe.
Wait, show us Rothgar. Did you get in close?
I did.
Get in close.
Oh god.
Oh,
Oh
the
god.
background on Rothgar is so cool too.
I love that
Sorry, I
pose,
need to-
too, with the big hammer.
It's
right
so
there. Oh my-
good.
So badass.
But yeah, so sorry.
Thank
Take us out,
you,
Tim.
Last of all, to Sarah Pohl for set decoration. And over the course of the whole campaign, both her and David Martins-Mendy for forum moderation.
Thank you.
And thank you, most of all, to all of you who are watching. Thank you so much for coming on this whole adventure with us. It makes our hearts feel nice that you enjoy it so much and that you're here with us. And we will see you for more later. Man, my usual sign-off doesn't work because we're dark next week. See you in
Two
two
Tuesdays?
Tuesdays?
Yeah.
Dale?
See you next Tuesday!